What is good, you guys? Happy Sunday. We are back with our second episode of Gold Blooded. And it's the perfect day because we have so much going on this week. And of course, we had the breaking news. Gifted. Jrue Holiday is now a Boston Celtic. So obviously we want to get into it with all of you. You know, there's a lot of people have feelings on this specific trade and all the other trades that were kind of wrapped up in this one. It's been a crazy week. So we'll get you guys up here to vent as well. Share your opinions. Do you like it? Who won some of the trades from this past week? And of course, the Drew Holiday. Where does that put the Celtics this upcoming season? But Gifted, right off the bat, I want to kind of hear what your thoughts are. How you feeling? Are you bummed? Obviously, you guys see Drew Holidays in our thumbnail right now. Our bad. We had no idea what was coming. We were only hoping for the best. So, that's where we're at. But yeah, Gifted, give us a little something.
First off, I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to episode 2 of what we're doing. Uh I gotta say, man, it was crazy for me. My perspective, I woke up this morning late because I stayed up last night playing 2K. So I woke up late around like 11 o'clock. And then just when I'm about to go to the barbershop and get my haircut, breaking news: Jrue Holiday has been traded to the Boston Celtics. So that obviously I don't do that. I make my video. I
Yeah.
hop in a space with KB Low and some more people. But my first gut reaction to this is the Eastern Conference is weak. And I say this because now it's only really two teams. I think one of those two teams for sure is coming out of the Eastern Conference to win the championship. And I'm not even confident that these teams that come out the East are going to be the team that actually beat the team that come out the West either. For the Celtics, it makes a lot of sense. I understand they lose Rob Will. That's tough, but I think this was a bet on Rob Will's health moving forward. And the fact that they're going to be able to sign Jrue Holiday to a long-term extension and keep him with Tatum and with Brown, it just speaks to their win now mindset that they've been trying to adopt after paying Jaylen Brown his money. So to me, it tracks and makes sense for them. The front court depth is going to be a question that people have a lot. Obviously, Porzingis is very injury prone, and Al Horford is very getting older, but I think it was a good trade for the Celtics. It puts them in prime position to potentially go to the finals this year. And for the Celtics, at least right now, that is what it's about.
Yeah, I completely
But
agree. I think this pickup for if I do sound a little sick, guys, I do have a little bit of a cold, so if I sound weird, I apologize. But um this Drew trade in particular, I think is really good for them. Obviously, with the loss of Marcus Smart, elite POA defender, just a great defender overall. Someone who knew the ins and outs of the system, actually had like chemistry with the team and everything. One of the guys who were just like originally part of the core. Losing that is tough. But replacing that with Drew Holiday is also good as well because, in my opinion, I think he's the best guard defender in the league. And you add that to a roster where there's wing depth, where you guys have on-ball defenders as well, and your front line is pretty solid in terms of who you have in Drew, JB as on-ball defender, JT as a defender in its entirety, Derek White, Al Horford to an extent as well, and KP even when he's healthy could be some sort of a positive as well for them too, right? But losing Robert Williams and losing Grant Williams to me is a very big detriment because of what you lose in terms of defensive versatility. Now, Grant and Al Horford were like essentially your Giannis stoppers. They were guys who were post defenders who can hold on to Giannis in terms of strength, be there, and like have help as well, right? But you lose that now when you go up because in my head I'm thinking these two are going to meet in the Eastern Conference Finals, like hypothetically speaking, right?
yeah.
If they were to meet, you don't have that anymore, and you don't have Robert Williams as a backline to be a shot blocker. I think they bring in Wenyen Gabriel for a training camp thing or something like that. I think I just read a report right now about Wenyen Gabriel going there for training camp or whatever in Boston, which is a good pickup because you need something because KP unfortunately does have injury issues, so you're gonna need a five. But yeah, I think the loss of Robert and Grant is gonna be huge for them. I think Drew added as a pickup is going to be great, but they have to address that backline defense because the Celtics, as we know it, even last year in terms of just roster, I think they had the best roster in the NBA, but I don't think they maximized it fully. And now you lost a lot of that depth. You lost Grant, you lost Robert, you lost Marcus, obviously, as well, and you lost Malcolm Brogdon, too. Even though flipping that for Drew Holiday is fine, you still lost that at the end of the day, regardless, right? So addressing that back line of defense needs to be like the main priority. And signing Wendy Gabriel is cool, but we're just gonna have to wait and see for like what they have to offer in terms of Jrue Holiday and the Boston Celtics. So yeah.
I just want
Yeah.
to point out, every time I wear this shirt, someone gets traded. The last time I wore this shirt last week, bro, Dame got traded. I made my video. I woke up this morning, about to go get my hair cut. Dame gets traded again. I'm wearing the same shirt. I need to stop wearing this shirt because we could have potentially had Jrue Holiday, and obviously for our thumbnail, we'll get into that later. But Haley, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, Gifted, I'm upset with you. Why couldn't you have waited a little longer to wear that shirt? Because we were just hoping for something, and obviously we're gonna get into everything Warriors because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling great. I've heard a lot of people giving their predictions of, oh well, what percentage are we hoping the Warriors could win next season? I'm hearing like 2%, 5%, 10%. And this is from Warrior fans. This is us being realistic at what we're looking at, especially now in comparison to this Bucks team, this Boston team, this Suns team, this Lakers team. Like I saw, I think we on a list of all the teams, I think we were like 10th. And that's still generous in my opinion compared to some of these other teams. So we'll get into that. But as far as Jrue goes, we saw it coming, right? I didn't think he was going to stay in Portland. I'm glad it happened so quickly. So, Jrue can move on with his life, get set up. I know that aspect of the game is something we don't always see. And that's hard to do when you have a family, a wife and all that. So I'm happy for him. I think he's going to fit in so well. And I think Boston will be number one defensively without a doubt this upcoming season, even if they do lose a piece like Porzingis or, Brown for some time or whatever. But I am curious to see where that, how that offense does. Is Tatum going to take a leap this season in his mentality? Is he going to be able to, be a leader this season? So I'm excited for it. I'm just disappointed at the same time when we're looking at kind of what we're working with next season. But I want to ask now, like, so Jrue is gone, and what I guess Portland got in return is now they have DeAndre Ayton and they have Rob Williams, which I'm curious because going from Nurkic to having those two, whether you want to say it or not, they're the two best young elite bigs in the league, right? And so I'm not considering Joel Embiid young or Jokic young. So I think those two like have the highest potential if they can stay healthy and on their grind. But what do you guys think about that? And also, do you think the league is starting to maybe teeter into like, I guess, preferring bigs right now because we've been so guard heavy over the last like 10 years, right? Do you think this is kind of a sign maybe we're going back into the big man era?
I think
So the answer.
No, go ahead, give him my bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Haley. So first off, I would say to answer your question, for Portland, initially I was iffy on the packages that they took for Dame, right? But
Yeah.
what they've now done is they've secured 2 unprotected 2029 first round picks for the Celtics and the Bucks. And the reason why I like that is because there's a chance that by that year, at least one of those teams, if not both, are not good. And if that's the case, you can get some very good value to drop for you in that same year. I think Robert Williams being on this Portland team is just them trying to make the money work, but I also think it's a way to fit DeAndre Ayton into the role he might have wanted to play more. In the past, Ayton has talked about viewing himself as a 4 more than a 5. So potentially having Rob Will there slots him into the right type of spot. But overall, Portland got a good return if you look at all of their young assets and also playable, ready to play now players. I'm curious about what KB thinks, though.
Yeah.
In terms of rising young big man, I'm not really too high on DeAndre Ayton, unfortunately. I think he's cool. I think he's good though.
I think the potential is what I mean. Like I agree with you. I'm not an Ayton fan, but like
and
what he can be.
Robert defensively, I think is good. He just needs to be healthy. Like offensively, I don't really expect much from him. Like as just a lob catcher himself, like he'll be cool. Yeah. But defensively though, I think he's really, really good. He's shown when healthy to be a guy who can show at the level, has the reach to where he can show it, kind of play drop at the free throw line, but still extend out and be able to reach like 3-point shooters with his length, as well as being a good shot blocker as well, right? And just being a good back, like a good 5 in general for a good defense. Offensively though, like I said, I'm not really too high on his offense and what he can do.
Have we seen him
Aiden is
even play a full season? Like he's always injured, at least like
yeah,
a
he
month
has to
or
deal
so
with a
out
lot
of
of
the
injuries, but
season.
when healthy
That's
though,
why
he's
they traded him.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
no.
KP as well. It's just like pick your poison. You feel me? Like I don't.
Well,
It's
that's why I thought
yeah.
they'd keep Rob Williams. Like okay, this is what I'm having a hard time understanding. We're gonna have somebody jump on here in a second, but was it worth it? Like, what is Boston's vision right now? I love that they're trying to lock in defensively even more so, right? That's important. But you trade away Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Rob Williams, like a good portion of like your like your main team, right? Your main roster. And was Jrue worth bringing in and letting go of Rob Williams, or would you have rather seen them let go of Al Horford? Like, what was the thought process there?
it's hard to gauge it because when you let go of Grant Williams, Dame was still a trailblazer, and like certain trades were happening around the league, and Dame was still he had his head set on Miami, and so did the league.
Right.
Everyone thought it was
Yeah.
like Dame to Miami. If he goes anywhere else, he's not going to play, or like no one's going to worry about any other team trying to go for him because he made it clear that Miami's the destination that he wants to go to.
Yeah.
So I think them letting go of Grant too. I might be wrong here, but I don't know if they wanted to really like pay him necessarily in terms of like what he wanted out of money. So I think he wanted like a bigger contract with like a bigger role, and I don't think the Celtics really wanted him to get like really to pay him that kind of money, right? So that's why he left. Rob I think is a loss for them. KP's a gain if he's healthy though. Like I think when healthy, that's just my main question is health and a little bit of the front court depth too. Because other than KP, Wenyen Gabriel's really not a needle mover in my opinion. And he just, by the way, he was signed to a training camp deal. That's what he was signed to. But
Yeah.
losing Rob, losing Grant, losing Malcolm, who was a good depth piece as well, and also losing Marcus Smart. You replaced that with Jrue Holiday, which is good. I think Jrue Holiday's better, but he's not like insanely better than Marcus Smart because both of them are really elite defenders in general.
Yeah.
But you lost a little bit of guard depth, and then you lose a ton of front court depth. And you were known to have your depth as well, like to be a 9-man rotation who can pull out different like versatile lineups and things like that. So you lose that for your core to win now, which I can see theoretically working if you're healthy. But if you do run into the Milwaukee Bucks, the issues that you have, they pose those problems. Lack of front court depth. Yes, you have Jrue Holiday, but on high screener roles, if Jrue Holiday has to fight over these Giannis screens, and Wenyen Gabriel showing at the level for you, or KP, I don't really have to say much in terms of that. And then you have to have JB as help side, JT, who can be help side at times, but I'm not really too sold on the fact that JP has to be kind of like a helper essentially sometimes, or someone like an older Al Horford who's shown this past postseason to not be as strong as a defender as he once was. So that's my issue with it. But I could still see them being a legitimate threat because they do pose problems for the Bucks too. I think their wings and their guards pose problems for the fact that the lack of Milwaukee's guards and wings as well. So it's pick your poison to me, in my opinion. So honestly, that's what I think.
I think that Rob Will had to be in this deal for it to happen. There were some overall reports that apparently the Clippers were willing to offer 2 unprotecteds, and if the Celtics didn't include Rob Will, Jrue Holiday would probably be a Clipper instead of a Celtic right now. I just feel like for Boston, it's going to come down to their execution as a team, which is, in the past come into question before in terms of Tatum and Brown being on ball decision makers. But I feel like their floor defensively is going to be a lot higher because that Bucks team in one offseason, they lose Jrue Holiday, they lose Wesley Matthews, and they lose Javon Carter, to where their biggest strength defensively is now just Giannis and Brook Lopez, potentially Bobby Portis as like a backup 5, but they lose mobility on the wing at a significant level. And Tatum and Brown, like their decision making hurts even more when you have length and other positional defenders to put alongside them. If they don't have that and Boston just has a more spaced out offense for them to operate, I think you can make an argument that while they lose depth, I think the positional flexibility that Jrue Holiday provides to their lineups is better than it was before compared to a Marcus Smart. Because while Jrue Holiday is a better defender than Smart, as good as Smart was, I just think the length and the size that he provides in lockstep with Derek White those are bodies that you can throw at Dame for a full series, which can slow him down. Obviously, he's a star player. He's going to get his. But in terms of the consistent advantage creation, if they didn't make this move now and they just let Jrue Holiday become a Los Angeles Clipper, I don't think people are entertaining the Celtics coming out of the East this year. So I understand the move. Will it work? Obviously, we don't know. That front court is compromised. I agree with KB 1,000% there. But if KP is able to stay healthy as the interior presence, who is Giannis going to help off of in that 5-man lineup? I don't know.
That is also true. I agree with you to a certain extent. The only problem that I have is that Jrue is a great defender. I think he's the best POA in our league. Like, I'm really high on Jrue Holiday as a defender. Like, I think he's elite, gifted, right? He can guard up too. He's one of those guards that is lengthy, who can guard like 1 through 3, like some wings in our league as well. I even seen him some possessions be able to actually withstand like a Kevin Durant in Brooklyn as well too, right? But the only problem I have is that what made Jrue Holiday's job easier was the fact that Giannis was able to roam. Like, he had a backline help of Giannis and Brook Lopez, who is one of our better front courts in the NBA as well in terms of like defenders. Like, it's a really, really good front court in terms of defense. And the Milwaukee Bucks, like, also like their team defense was like very, very good. And I just think in a system where you lack front court depth, I don't know, your mobility in the front court is not really that good. And on top of that, the team that you're pretty much going up against, because this is really a 2-team race in my opinion, because the East is cooked. The guard that you're playing is one of the best pull-up shooters in the NBA. And then the guy who's setting those high screen rolls could be one of the best rollers in the NBA, a lob catcher, finisher, and has immense rim pressure as well too. So you're asking a lot out of Jrue Holiday to be able to do these things. Now, can he put up a couple stops? 100% he can. He's a very elite guard defender, but he doesn't have that backline to support his defensive prowess as much as Marcus Smart had in the past as well too, right? Because he did have Marcus Smart, and Jrue Holiday I think is the better defender, but Marcus Smart had Robert Williams. He had Grant to a certain extent. He even had Al Horford, but Al Horford is showing a little bit of regression. Now you lost like 2 out of those 3 key pieces. So it's like, yeah, Jrue is great, but how much can he do defensively for you to actually hinder the Bucks and their offense and their high pick and roll with Giannis and Dame? Because that's your main bread and butter. And you still have third option Middleton to deal with too, who can very much go back to where he was in 2021 in terms of a scorer. And that in of itself is also going to be a problem because him as a third option is very respectable.
Big.
Like, very,
Definitely.
very.
Yeah, definitely don't sleep on Middleton. Although I am somewhat surprised that they ended up hanging on to him instead of Jrue. But we'll get into this a little bit more. You guys make sure to get those likes up so we can get this pushed out to everybody. And also make sure to send in a super chat because we probably won't get to your chats if they're just in the chat. And we have a guest here who is somewhat of an ex-Warriors fan. We can hash that out. And we'll also have some of you guys on here in a sec to voice your opinions on the Jrue trade. But we will get Mars.
Ex-Warriors fan. I've always been a Warriors fan.
You're right.
Now you're back.
I was always a Warriors fan.
Okay.
I never left. I was always a Warriors fan.
Run it back.
What's good, Mars?
Man.
What's up? I'm hearing a lot of cope about how Jrue Holiday's not really helping as much as you guys are just sad. I get it. I was saying Golden State should have gone after him. I get it. You guys are sad. Now you guys are trying to minimize Jrue Holiday's impact. It's fine. I get it.
But how big is his impact going? Like realistically though, because I think I don't know how minimizing him, but I literally say he's the best guard defender in the league, in my opinion. But how much of an impact is it going to be if your backline is Wenyen Gabriel? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Wenyen Gabriel got a training camp deal. It's not like he's guaranteed to be playing.
Right?
You're trying to minimize it. You're trying to.
I don't know why you keep on bringing up Wenyen
get Jrue some court help. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
KP is a very good rim protector.
Okay,
Jason Tatum's shown flashes of good rim protection on the help side. I mean,
there's KB. The counter to
something
you're saying, right, to me, is that even though they might not have like a super like help side mobile type of setup, their perimeter defense is going to deter guards from getting to the rim consistently. Dame in the Giannis pick and roll, his number one look is going to be trying to find that pull-up shot, right? Because he more so settles for perimeter shots. He got to the basket more than he ever has in his entire career last year. I agree with that. But in terms of having the bodies for the guard spot to match up with Dame, they're much more equipped now than they were before. Something has to give.
Who's the best playmaker on the Bucks? Is it
It's probably
Dame.
still
Derek
Giannis.
White.
Is Dame.
Giannis?
Is Dame.
Nah,
Wait,
but
Dame
people-
is
KB thinks Giannis is a top 5 playmaker in the league. So
Yeah,
he's
exactly. No.
Wait.
Seven,
Yeah.
seven,
Like,
seven,
yeah.
seven.
Is
Wait.
Dame.
The thing is though, because
Okay.
I think Dame could create those advantages. I for sure believe that. I just don't know if he could like make those consistent passes for the advantages to be actually like used. Like, you feel me? Like, there's people who can create an advantage, but if you can't make the pass, there's no point of the advantage being there. You feel me?
Do you think Giannis is a better passer than Dame?
If I speak, I'm a little bit of a big trouble.
The man said, "If I
I'll
speak."
see, bro.
The man said, "If I speak, chat. If I speak."
All
If I
right,
speak, I'm in trouble, bro.
We've got these. We'll do these super chats, and then Mars, we want to get your take on everything. But we'll get through these first. Jacob McKenzie, thank you so much for your super chat. Will Curry ever request a trade with the Warriors? Yes or no? Nah. He's retiring.
Yes, he
Good
will.
job.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah,
Highly doubt it.
yeah.
If that day happens, you
No
will never
way.
hear from me
Yeah.
again.
I'm gonna be clear with you.
You'll never hear from me ever again.
After Jamal Murray makes an All NBA team this year, and Denver doesn't want to pay him the supermax, and he gets traded for Steph, it's gonna be what it is. It's gonna be tough.
Wait, so Steph and Jokic are pairing up?
It's gonna be Steph and Jokic. Yeah.
Steph's gonna retire a Denver Nugget.
No,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is my ambition right now. I
Gross.
think James leaves Philly, Embiid gets angry, and then the Under Armour boys collab. Man.
That's the
all
only
I'm saying.
vision KB.
Oh
my-
I didn't expect this level of bias on this show. This is
Bias.
ridiculous.
Whoa, bias.
Embiid to Golden State, that's just unbiased, I guess. All right, cool.
I mean,
No.
and
It's a American dream, of course. I don't think it's gonna happen though. But American dream, man.
Yeah.
How do you
We can
be
only
realistic? How do you even think the Jrue Holiday trade was going to happen? But once again, a man could dream. You feel me? Like I had to think about it. I'm like, damn.
I'm not gonna lie. Trading
You
Chris
think
Paul
he
for Joel Embiid is hilarious.
Could you imagine?
Well,
That's crazy.
I mean, but the
You're
thing is,
freak.
and I know everybody in the chat's asking, like, what the heck? Joel, like, looking at Boston now, looking at Milwaukee, like, Joel with Harden, who's still, like, a big question mark, and who knows what's going to happen with him. Like, he's going to be unsatisfied, and he's already voiced that. So do you think any of these changes are going to kind of prompt Philly to go out right now and get a star and do what these other two teams have done? Are they even in position to do that? I mean, they have some great assets, I think, that other teams would be willing to give up. But I don't know if that looks like a Zach LaVine, Trae Young. Like, I don't know what that looks like, but what do you guys think?
Zach LaVine would be cool, but that contract is kind of crazy. I think didn't they gutter their roster too? Like, didn't they lose a lot of what they had
lost a lot
year?
of players from last year, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like I don't and then Daryl and James, that whole situation is just a bit like it's a bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think James is happy there at all. Obviously, because him being lied to, thinking that he was going to get a contract extension when he wasn't, and then not being traded when he asked to be traded. So that's gonna be tough. And then the locker room vibes is going to be important and it's going to be bad. So and then Embiid is probably gonna get upset. I said he was gonna demand a trade at the trade deadline. I could probably see it being the following season. So like after the season, them losing in the second round to Boston again, and then he's like fed up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm done. Like, get me out of here. I'm not staying here no more." And I think James will probably be gone as well. So
you think he's got one more season with Harden, like with the same?
Yeah, probably. It's gonna be like, we'll try to run it back, but it's not gonna work because the two other teams
deadline.
I think Miami could beat them too. I'm not gonna lie to you. If they played Miami in a 7-game series,
I think so too.
A very possible chance they could lose to them too, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad for Embiid though, because the process is over and he still hasn't seen a conference finals to this day. So that is
and
insane.
you feel bad for Embiid for that?
Yeah, I do, because he's been injured a lot. That's why I feel bad for him.
I feel more bad for Philly about that than if their star.
I feel more bad for Philly. Yeah,
that's who they invested in. You can't stay
I
healthy
feel
for 2
bad for
series. I
Embiid.
mean, I'd be kind of upset.
Well, it's a bit unlucky to be that to be hurt that much, especially these past couple seasons when he's been like a little bit more healthy than what he used to be. So, and then him just getting those injuries as well. Because I think even last season, there's a bit of a side point. I think his playoff run wasn't terrible. I think offensively he was bad, but especially against the Celtics, I think defensively he was really, really good. Offensively, he just wasn't what he was in the regular season. I think that was because of his injury as well too. Just a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, injury luck, being injury prone kind of sucks. But
I'm so tired of Joel Embiid being hurt every year in the playoffs. The fact that he cannot get through one round of playoff basketball without getting hurt is tough, because every time he underperforms, the injury is going to be brought up. I really just want to see him be fully healthy so we can evaluate, did he sell or not? Because he has sold a lot in the playoffs, but then it's the injury. That's why he sold. That's why he couldn't pass out of this double team, because he was injured, which, okay.
No one's saying that. No one's saying because of his injury, his spatial awareness is terrible.
No, when he had a broken face and had to wear the mask, he couldn't see the whole floor. So
right.
You got to think about that. So he couldn't actually see out the double team. So.
I mean, didn't he get
literally couldn't see it? Literally couldn't see the double coming.
He literally had an eye injury, so he couldn't see the double teams. That's a valid excuse, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty valid. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
I got you.
Man. Oh, okay. Terry with two dads. What do y'all think Boston's starting lineup looks like? And hey, Mars, you're my 32nd favorite Brit.
You have 31 Brits ranked in a tier list, and then Mars. That's kind of funny.
I mean, that's out of all the people, that's pretty dang good.
I'd put myself personally in the top 5, but I'll take it.
Who's your top 5?
Who would you put?
Wait. So you think you're a top 5 Brit
of all time? Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who are the 4 that are definitely ahead of you? I just want to know.
Look, when I say top 5, it doesn't mean I'm 5th. I'm just being humble and saying top 5.
So where are you putting yourself in this top 5, realistically?
Yeah, you did this.
I think it's MJ and LeBron 1 and 2 right there. Me and
what?
And who?
Who are the Brits?
British history is not that good. I might be number 1. Low key, I might be number 1.
Well, maybe we'll have him submit his 31 top Brits, and then
I need
break
to
it down. Yeah,
I clear the queen. I clear the queen.
Over you, Mars.
Nah, that's crazy.
David Beckham.
I clear the queen is insane.
I clear the queen is hilarious. That's some funny shit right there.
I clear the queen.
I clear the queen.
Humbly, I clear the queen.
Oh man. Okay, back to Boston's starting lineup. Mars, you take it away. Give us your take on that. Is it overrated, underrated, fairly rated?
Yo, real quick, I just want to quickly highlight this chat. Mars is delusional. He's top 40 at best realistically. That is crazy. Glaze.
I mean, if you say I'm top 40, I'll take it. I mean, I know NBA players who made all NBA who aren't top 40. So me being top 40, I mean,
yeah, you can't go wrong. That's pretty impressive.
And the Boston starting lineup would be what? Jrue, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and KP. Right? Or am I missing something?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's an elite starting 5. I think in terms of just 1 through 5, like the most complete, very few flaws, I think is probably the best starting 5 in the league, because you got 2 elite defenders, in my opinion, Jrue and Derek White on the perimeter. Derek White has shown flashes of rim protection as a guard that I never knew he had. That's an extremely valuable thing to have. Jrue Holiday, like KB said, if not the best POA, the second best in my opinion in the league. Jason Tatum is shown to be an all defensive caliber defender. Jaylen Brown is a good on-ball defender. Maybe you can have him on some primary wings in the league. He might not have to have as large an offensive role. Maybe he doesn't need to dribble as much with Jrue Holiday on the floor. A few things there. KP can space the floor. His post game has improved exponentially. So they have that extra layer of their offense now, because the post touches were non-existent for Boston last year. Whether that's because of Joe Mazzulla or just a lack of personnel to actually get post touches. I still think they have very strong rebounding with KP and Jason Tatum. I think overall their team doesn't have many flaws. The issue is, do they have as much high-end talent as teams like the Bucks? Where that's where the questions really come in. But in terms of just 1 through 5 talent, I think they're the most well-rounded, complete starting 5 in the league. So I think it's a very good move for them. And anyone who says otherwise is just coping with their team's failure to get Jrue Holiday.
Okay, fair. And what was your overall, like, I know you're a Rockets fan, right? You're putting some stock into them, but what do you think about Portland? Like, now that we kind of see the full extent of the trade, some people were like, oh, they were just bitter at Miami. That's why they didn't, figure out something on that side. But now that we see the full extent, do you think that they, did a good job?
They've ended up with 4 picks in this, right?
One of them being this season's top 4 protected, so they could end up getting from Golden State. So,
I mean, the Jazz got 5 for Rudy Gobert, but
that
just using that as an outlier, we'll assume that 4 picks.
That should not be a precedent.
Rudy Gobert, actually, that's insane.
Yeah, so I mean,
it was gross. Yeah,
if we compare it to that, we'll say that they probably didn't get enough, but they also got DeAndre Ayton, who I think is a good young big to like not build your team around, but definitely your front court can be built around a guy like DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Great scoring touch, great rebounder. Don't think he's probably the best young big in the league, but I heard you say that. Don't think I agree with that, but very good young big.
Who is then under 24 and under? Who's the best?
I know he's going.
As a Houston fan,
I know.
I mean,
Oh
Alfred
my
Sengun
God.
is right
Here we
there.
go.
Like,
Oh my God, bro.
no, but I'm biased.
How old is Triple J?
Who?
Oh,
23. He was in the same
24
draft
maybe.
as Ayton.
He might be 23 or just turned 24. But I'm not personally like I like JJJ, but I just think that he's underwhelming. I don't know if he should have won defensive
In terms
player
of
the year.
rebounding, sure.
Aiden isn't.
But
I feel like Aiden's hella underwhelming.
No, he is. But I think like I guess potential is kind of what I was gearing off of for this.
We're not having JJJ versus DeAndre Ayton conversation in 2023, are we? Because
No.
I mean,
No,
I know a
give it
big
to him.
who's not underwhelming, and it's Alfred Sengun. But
Well, let me guess. He's baby Jokic. Is that what you're gonna say?
Wait, how old is he?
He might be teenage Jokic right now, the way he's super.
Oh.
Teenage Jokic, huh?
Teenage
Okay.
Jokic. He's
Indeed,
at
indeed,
21,
indeed.
22, Alfred Sengun. I also think Jalen Duren has higher potential than Jalen.
Yeah.
I do.
I like
agree with
Jalen.
that. Yeah.
I like Jalen Duren a lot.
But yeah, DeAndre Ayton, very good young big. I don't see much of lack of growth in his game. I do think he'll probably just have higher like box score numbers just based on opportunity. But I don't think he's really
I can
going to
see that.
develop much more. I'm just hoping he buys in defensively and becomes more of a rim protector. That's something I think I've been missing. I mean, a big who's that mobile and athletic, you'd expect him to be a better defender. That's what I'm looking for. I like the fact that they've opened up opportunities for guys like Scoot Henderson. Now he's no longer behind Dame. No Jrue Holiday. I would have liked if they got a veteran point guard who's not Malcolm Brogdon to help mentor a guy like Scoot Henderson, which is why I was pushing the Chris Paul for Jrue Holiday situation, because I think Chris Paul would be the perfect point guard to help mentor a young guard. But they went in a different direction. But I like Scoot. I like Shaden Sharp. I like Anthony Simons, even though I think he should be a sixth man, but I like him a lot. Losing guys like, yes, Simons is a sixth man. To me, he's a sixth man. I think
he might get traded.
I don't know about that. I don't know if there's anything that would be available for them to trade Simons.
They can still flip players for more picks. Like you can still flip. Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams are like they're still guys who can be used for like contending teams that want to compete. So
Golden State should be looking at Robert Williams as well.
That's what I was going to bring that up.
I mean, you guys have been needing a big for like 6 years.
But we're not going to go that direction.
One thing about us, for some odd reason, when we have injury-prone players, they play healthy when it's with us. Like Otto Porter Jr. played.
Now we did got the best of Otto Porter Jr.
I've never seen Otto Porter Jr. play so well in so many meaningful minutes in my life.
Gary Payton too. Like we revived him. His career kind of revived a little bit.
I'm just saying, like
it is
if
true.
we have Robert, that helps us. I'm not getting my hopes up. That's not what I'm.
Robert Williams would be perfect. He adds a lob threat that you guys haven't had at the big position since James Wiseman was meant to.
Perfect fit on the Warriors. Yeah,
but it's not going to happen.
He's also excellent rim protection that you also haven't had at the big position because you guys are relying on Draymond Green rim protection, which
oh my god,
it's good. But
Draymond can finally get a shot.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Okay, before
there's just many things that Robert Williams would.
Remember the last time? What was
and
the last
Chris Paul was still there to be given up. So
yeah.
Give up.
Last time you guys had elite rim protection was Andrew Bogut. That was the last time.
JaVale McGee in 17 was cool.
Bench rim protection's not moving.
But he was good. Yeah. Was he not?
Yeah, he was a good rim protector. But when you can only play 18 minutes a game, I mean.
Yeah, I guess it's not really moving the needle.
Hey, at this point, we'll take anything we can get. And I want to ask, I know Reggie Bullock is on the market a little bit. Before we do that, I'm going to send the link in the chat. You guys, if a few of you want to come on really quickly and share a take, just make sure your camera's on so we can see you backstage.
I think Reggie should go to. I seen one of my friends, NMZ. He said something about this the other day. He said, Reggie should actually sign to the Bucks. I actually think that's a good pickup because they're in need of wings. I'm not gonna lie.
They need one badly. Yeah,
a 3-and-D wing who can play like team defense and can space the floor for you. I get it. Like if Reggie Bullock gets a closeout and he has to put the ball on the floor, he becomes pretty much useless. But like he's still better than what you got currently, and you don't have a lot of wing depth. Even your guard depth after Dame, who's behind him? Like what I'm saying?
They're going to be relying on jumps from guys like Marjon Beauchamp, which I'm not sure how much stock I'd put.
I don't know.
I'm high on Marjon Beauchamp, but I'm not sure I'm high on him as someone who you expect.
I just don't know how many good defensive pieces are on this roster as a collect. Like
It's not even
Literally,
defense. Who's Dame's backup when Dame's off the floor? Who's Dame's backup to initiate, be the guy who to replace Dame's kind of not like full offensive impact, but to a certain degree. Like someone has to like initiate offense. Because you can't go back to what Giannis was doing. And like, you know what I'm saying?
Who was that last year? Javon
I
Carter?
guess it would be Chris Middleton doing it
but
now.
The thing is, Jamal Carter was actually like very good transition 3-point shooter. I don't know why. He spaced the floor. He was a very good POA.
They just got campaign, is what the chat's saying. So
Who?
Oh, they did. They did get campaign.
They just signed campaign. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not really. That doesn't move me crazy, but it's better than
crazy. Campaign.
I can see it. I can see
Campaign.
That's crazy. He's
Campaign
the perfect
backup
fit
initiator?
for them.
No,
That's
like
crazy.
as a backup, yeah, it's good. But like, for what the market has to offer right now, that's actually the best you could get. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think Cam could basically dictate pace a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's great.
in that game 7.
I think he's done, but yeah.
You think campaign is done?
Yeah, I think he's not valuable anymore. That's just my opinion on it.
I don't think that's crazy to say either, though. But
Just based off like last season and how he kind of finished out.
It's just when you get thrown to the bottom like that, and you shuffling through teams, it's just hard to kind of like prove yourself. I mean, I want to see him do well, but I don't. Nah, I'm good. We need to see some younger.
It's a very random take saying that campaign is done. I don't even thought about him being done at all. I haven't watched him enough.
Maybe I'm like the only person who's like kind of high on campaign. I think he's a okay backup. Like for a team like Milwaukee,
I do.
You just need replacement level minutes from their backup point guard.
Yeah.
I think he can provide that. I don't think he's going to take ill-advised shots. I don't think he's going to be a terrible playmaker or decision maker. He's someone who can initiate a pick and roll. He's someone who can spot up in the corner if need be.
Bring the ball up.
Problem is going
You
to
know
be
he's
defense.
really good at that. I like. He has a good first step, and he's really good at attacking closeouts. So like, if it's off of a Giannis swing, and he
has a very wide first step. It's weird. Like if he closes out, you can see like he gets around defenders very
all of it. Yeah,
you got a Hall of Fame slivery finisher. That's what he's got. It's very
too much.
Very
backup. This is the backup point guard on the Bucks. That's okay. Well, I mean, I guess they
kind of need it too. They kind of
need
need it as well. So
need a defense.
On top of that, you pair him with like Malik Beasley, who we know is kind of like a fake shooter, but still a shooter nonetheless. Like,
I mean, what's Reggie Bullock?
Huh?
What's Reggie
also
Bullock?
a fake shooter. Also a fake shooter as well.
But like, it's fake in terms of people respect
being fake.
it,
Yeah.
Do they know? That's like they don't know. That's the thing. Like,
Watching him in Dallas, they be leaving him open.
Listen. This
He's
man Reggie started every season in Dallas.
Luka creation. He's
Bro,
living off Luka creation.
He started every season in Dallas shooting like 20% from 3, and then for like a 3-month stretch, he'll shoot 55%. It's like, oh, Reggie Bullock, just ignoring the way he started his season from
listen, sometimes all you need is a new system, man, and maybe with this new system, he'll be a much improved.
Maybe that's what it will be for Malik Beasley. I remember he was on Minnesota shooting like 40%.
My concern with Bullock is like why. My concern with Bullock is like why is nobody else interested? Why is no one else jumping on that? I think there might be things, whether it's with his health, the locker room, I don't know, but that could be kind of hindering that. But Moody, you want to drop your take on this, kind of all the trades this week? Do you have any questions, or do you want to rant about anything? Just let us know.
Just rants about my Warriors because I'm a Warriors fan as well.
Okay, let's go.
5 Warriors fans up there. Nice.
I've been Warriors fan since 2013. I have to be honest about that. Not 2009 or none. But the take is Draymond. It's just I heard it's sad to see with the injury. I think he's going to be out for a month. And how are we going to? I'm asking questions. How are we going to be able to sustain defensively during that portion of the season?
I got 2 words for you, man. Jonathan Kuminga. This is Jonathan Kuminga's year. I've been saying this beforehand. If you pay attention to him during the regular season. No. I'm going to let you put the Kuminga cape on. KB. I'm going to let you
30-year jump
KB. Mr. KB. I'm going to let you put on the Kuminga cape after I'm done talking. But like I was saying, Jonathan Kuminga. Yes.
Why are you guys battling?
You've
had
had
a bigger Kuminga
get your own. Yeah, you only.
I'm not. That's KB getting mad at me. I'm not.
Fan
no. It's fake love. That's what it is, bro.
Fake love.
Okay. Did you go? Then KB, you have the floor.
Simple, very simple. But yeah, I think that Jonathan Kuminga during the regular season last year was a very productive player for the Warriors. He had multiple games where he was playing phenomenal point of attack defense at the wing position. He also had a stretch where he was shooting very productive on catch and shoots out of the corner and also the mid-range area. The issue is he didn't get any time to really show that in the playoffs because Kerr didn't think he could trust him playing him. But during the regular season, at least, he was definitely providing that value. And I think having him have that year 3 leap on this current type of team, having spent more time with Kerr in the system, I do think for a while he can try to make up for that void. Obviously, Draymond, what he provides defensively, we don't have quite another player on this team like that. But in terms of the athleticism that he'll provide going the other way and the perimeter defense, I think Kuminga can slide in nicely with Andrew Wiggins. It's still a hurt. Right. Regardless, we're going to be a worse team without Draymond Green. But in terms of Kuminga being able to step up in that role, I like that for
him. Yeah,
I agree with Gifted. I just don't think. No, I'm not going to get into that. We'll talk about that another day. But like, I agree for the most part with Gifted. I think Kuminga being a replacement is good. I think his 30-year jump will be there, especially with the likes of CP3 now. I've already expressed how I feel about CP3.
Yeah, but that's good on the second. That would be perfect on the second.
Yeah, so like someone like CP3 who can aid him in terms of like being an initiator, finding him his spots, kind of being a roller, being a good cutter, someone who can catch lobs as well. Like those things will help CP3 in terms of a half-court setting. Now, in terms of the injury per se, guys, today he suffered this injury like a couple days ago. I think we're about just under a month away. If it's not a high ankle sprain, we're looking at a month. So he's gonna miss like maybe 5 games at most. So it's like, yeah, we're missing him for like 5 games at best, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. It's not like the season started and he got this injury in February. Like then that'll be like a little bit serious, but we're still like a month away from the season. So I'm not really too worried per se, but I think Kuminga should be the guy who should replace Draymond. And do I think he's going to? I don't know, because Steve Kerr might have this tendency of like, oh, Draymond's gone. Now we can definitely play Chris Paul. Like he might do something like that and slot Andrew Wiggins at the 4 and Clay at the 3.
Oh my
God.
Oh,
should Kuminga be the replacement? Yes, I 100% agree.
Damn.
I think defensively,
stole my argument. Damn.
Nah, it might be Chris Paul anyway. Yeah.
Patty C's super chat was gonna ask the question I was about to ask, but it's fine.
Here, let's go. Let's do some super chats and then we'll. Yeah. Did we read this one?
We did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Harry with 2 dads. Appreciate you, man. NR, y'all need more personality on the show. Get a ticket, Jalen, Damo, or Chilltown to pop in. Good info, just a little boring. Appreciate you. Thanks for the advice. And unfortunately, this is our cast, but we'll definitely be having some more guests, so keep coming through.
If you don't like perimeter defense, that's on you.
You just gotta argue more.
He's just a Laker fan. Let's be real.
You just gotta argue with each other more. Just get
He's
angry.
a Laker fan, but it's
just
cool,
bro.
bro.
Don't have like insane takes. I don't know.
It's Sunday. Like we're not gonna be screaming at each other all day.
Find a reason to argue. You say Steph Curry's a good shooter. What do you mean he's a good shooter? He's a great shooter.
Right.
That's what you gotta do.
Just be on bullshit when you up here talking basketball.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you provide the entertainment.
The Bulls are gonna win. Gonna win the East this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Boom. There you go. There you go.
Let's get
there. It is. There it is.
Are you insane?
No team with DeMar DeRozan is winning anything. Let's be honest.
I saw DeMar DeRozan drop 40 on Giannis. Why couldn't KD do the same when it mattered?
Where was KD in overtime? 0 for 6. What can he do about Steph Curry? There we go.
Okay. Terry with 2 dads. Again, thank you so much. If Triple J jumped for rebounds half as much as he jumped for blocks, he'll probably lead the league. And I can't really see. Can you guys read the rest of that?
On Basketball Reference, one of K Mid nicknames is Baby Joe Johnson.
Okay.
That's funny as hell.
I mean, he just has to get
on
defense. That's it. And like have a little bit
his offensive game. I think defensively is cool. His offense needs to.
He just needs to
that's the part that has to get better, KB.
I think his offense is capped out. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not seeing.
It might be.
Is this what you're talking about? Opinion on Usman Garuba getting more playing time and impact because of his?
Let's break it down, Mars. Break it down.
He's on a 2-way. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts the season actually on the roster, just getting some rotational minutes because he's a versatile big who plays defense. He can switch, and this is someone who's watched a lot of Usman Garuba, so he can switch.
Right,
great offensive rebounder, fantastic offensive rebounder. Athletic. He started shooting the 3 last season. I'm not sure what value you might have in that, but he started shooting the 3 last season. I think for maybe 15 minutes a game while Draymond's out, you just have someone there who can help Kevon Looney, who can play versatile defense, who can play high on pick and rolls if you need to with your questionable point of attack defense with Chris Paul and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Like he just offers a little dynamic that can kind of supplement a bit of what Draymond provides. I'm not sure how many minutes he'll play, but I think just while Draymond's out, he might start the season on the roster. That's what it really was.
Quick question.
Okay.
The thing is, when Draymond comes back, I actually see him still being a rotational piece even when Draymond comes back, because I agree with what Mar said. Like, I watched a bit of Garuba. I think he's really good. And I think he has, like, his ceiling's pretty high, especially with someone like Draymond being able to, like, guide him. I think Iggy's still going to be, like, a heavy part in terms of, like, being a guy in the locker room with them, too. Like, just a lot of good defenders on the team who could help him and guide him in the right direction. I think he has a high ceiling in terms of that. I just want to know, like, guys like Trace, guys like Kavan, obviously, guys like Kuminga, like, these are all guys in the front court who's going to be battling minutes. I just want to see how he's going to be able to fit in and try to, like, take more minutes away from the other guys. Like, do you guys see it happening, or, like, what do you guys think?
I doubt he'll be like a major part, because I think two-way players get 50 games max, right? Before they have to be upgraded to like a fully guaranteed NBA contract.
A 50,
yeah. Yeah, you guys have the same thing. What's the guy who
Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome? Those two guys.
You guys have the same thing.
Those guys.
Tough time.
So I think I don't know if he'll get to 50 games with you guys to get that point. I don't think Golden State want to just pay him a fully guaranteed NBA contract, to be honest. So I think he'll just be a bit part player. I think the stock is in Trace Jackson Davis, experienced player coming out of Indiana, showed great rebounding, which is something you guys have been missing. Especially just it seems to be Kevon Looney's the only elite rebounder. Kevon Looney's the only elite rebounder on your team. Right. I think Trace Jackson Davis can help that. He's also a very good interior scorer, which is definitely.
And he can pass. He can pass really well too.
He's a skilled big, and I think that's what you guys have been drafting young, like Kuminga, Wiseman. You guys have been drafting young and like hoping to develop these guys. I think Trace Jackson Davis is finally you guys have gone with more of an NBA ready, proven rookie who you think can come and contribute right away. So I expect him to be a key contributor for you guys this year. And then offensively, I think Dario Saric can give you guys some good minutes just with his ability to pass, his ability to stretch the floor. He can put the ball on the floor as well, which is something that a lot of people don't give him enough credit for. In OKC, I was watching him. He's able, once again, like campaign, he can attack a closeout. He can break.
I think he's a better pass. I think he's just a better.
That's why I see him as. I see him as he provides those Bielitsa minutes, and I think he's better defensively than Bielitsa. A lot more mobile. Bielitsa could barely move his feet. So I think you guys have done well upgrading your front court, but it depends on how well those guys can buy into the system. And if Steve Kerr, maybe he can't coach bigs. If I see these bigs struggling because James Wiseman struggled, like maybe he's just not very good big coach. I've been trying to put that off. But maybe he's
we'll see. I can see that, but then
he does seem to be a small ball merchant. Him and Ty Lue, small ball merchants.
A small ball merchant.
Okay. But I think he's just looking for certain aspects out of big men, like being able to pass at the short roll, make decisions out of the split action, knowing when to be in the dunker spot. Then as a defender, like verticality is something that's really like big for him. Like he's been telling Kevon Looney this like his entire career since he's been there. Like Kevon Looney's not the biggest big man, but like he's wide in terms of his size and he's strong, but he's not like 7 foot. We know this. He's undersized, right? But as a vertical jumper, like he's very straight. Like he'll just jump up straight and down. Like, and his shot blocking ability isn't there per se, but his rim deterrence is actually pretty solid for his size, in my opinion. So I think defensively he can coach bigs, but offensively I can see the questions at which that need to be answered. So I understand Mars's point. I agree to a certain extent.
Need to win in the trade deadline or something. Like I feel like a lot of teams like the Lakers and I feel like the Sixers should do something ASAP. The way that the Bucks and the Celtics have made big power moves, like we got to win something in the trade, or are we just gonna keep this team and we're gonna get crushed in the Western? Because honestly,
I'm glad you said that. I read a report today. I think his report. The reporter name was Anthony Slater. That's his name, right? The Warriors reporter.
Slater, yeah.
Anthony Slater, yeah.
Slater.
Yeah.
I read a report saying that he from his, I don't know if it's from his opinion or from someone he was speaking to, but he said in the report that the Warriors were never in talks for Jrue Holiday, and that blew my mind. And then he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, "Oh, I believe that they're content with what they have in like their roster right now. Like they're going to training camp with it. They don't want to be in any trading talks at all." And that blew my mind. Because I seen the trade like happen for the Celtics, and then I immediately went to like his page and I seen his report on it, and I'm like, So you guys even pick up the phone and call to at least see what kind of package you could come up with. Like you even check. That's insane.
Well, they don't want Jrue because they already set on CP3.
That's my point.
So how do you feel about Mike Dunleavy and what he's been doing?
That's my other point.
I don't know. How do you feel about him?
I seen other reports.
Solid.
This is what actually got me upset.
KB, really quick. The interesting point is like, if you think about it, I actually was telling Fluent this on Thursday. This isn't Mike Dunleavy's team, right? This was Bob Myers' team. This was the guys he scouted, the guys he poured into, the guys he watered and grew and trusted and invested in, right? This isn't Mike Dunleavy's. Mike Dunleavy is now going to like be scattering out new guys. Jonathan Kuminga is probably going to be the main focus for growing and moving forward the next generation of the Warriors, right? And another thing is like, we're old. We're on the extremely old spectrum. We're a retirement home. We're what we always made fun of other teams for. That's us. That's us. And KB, I hear you when people are saying like, oh, we're comfortable with what we've got. You know, like, no, we're not. We shouldn't be. This is unacceptable when you have one of the greatest players to ever play the game on your team and is still in great shape for the most part. You surround him with everything that you can, and they're not doing that. So, in my opinion, I'm hoping that they just have something that's coming. They have a plan because I trust the Warriors front office for the most part. I always have, but now at this point,
I'm losing trust, Haley. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm losing it because how could I trust you if you'd even call to at least ask? Like you'd even like, it wasn't like, oh, you're asking for way too much. I think we're just best staying with CP3. I'm not trying to lose that much, like because you already lost a lot. You'd even check. You'd even check in the back to see if the shoes were actually there. You just like said, nah, we're good, and you just kept it pushing. That's basically what you did, and that's the dumbest thing ever because you don't know what you could have gotten. You don't know.
They're acting.
Honestly don't know.
They need to.
And now it's just like
front court.
You're stuck with CP, who's cool and all, but it's like you could have at least checked for Jrue. Then the other part that pissed me off, I seen another report. Well, I seen another report from Monty Poole, and he was talking about how, in his opinion, the Warriors' perception and how they would look as an organization would be bad if they were to immediately flip CP3 for Jrue Holiday. And I lost it. I was like, how are you worried about perception? You have a team at which, like you said, Steph Curry, who's still in his prime, it was a top 3 player in the NBA, in my opinion. Like the guy last year before his injury was arguably the best player in the league, literally averaging like 30 points on like 70 true shooting before his injury happened. And like
then they're 50-49 for the season.
Yeah, he was doing some insane things offensively. This is before he was injured. He had an argument to be best in the world in like December time. It was like it was 2 months to play, but it was elite.
Argument from Warriors fans,
You said what?
Carry.
Wait, Moody, you go ahead.
That's fine. I said up until December, like he had an argument to be best in the world. Like it's not really something crazy. He was doing elite things. Anyways, a top 3 player in the world, one of the best players in the planet, still well in his prime. And your core is older, but your starting 5 is still like a very good starting 5. Like last year in terms of plus minus, I think they had the best plus minus out of all the starting 5s in the league or something like that. So you still have a good starting 5 in general. You're worried about perception about how the league will look for you to trade CP3 immediately for a guy who's better. That just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know why you would be worried about perception when there's a better player available or was available for you, and it would actually like address problems on your team in terms of POA defense and actually bring you versatility defensively, which you need. And offensively, he'll probably look better because you have more shooters and one of the better offensive players in the NBA and Steph Curry paired with him at the guard spot too, along with guys like Clay and Wiggins who like are good offensive players, right? So you're worried about perception and what the front office would do. And then you go ahead and then you come out with a report saying that, yeah, we weren't even looking into Jrue Holiday at all. We're content with CP3, knowing what you know about CP3 as a player as well. And you're worried about perception. That's some of the most like the slowest mind I've never seen. It's so like words can't describe how idiotic those niggas are. Like it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And
it's chaos for sure, KB. I totally feel you. Like and
the worst part is it's like you're caring about winning, but then you're doing stuff like this, and your franchise player.
Why you look so fake stressed out though? With
this man needs therapy. This man needs therapy.
We're gonna let Moody get in there, okay?
It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all, bro.
No,
I mean, all I have to say to that is, I mean, they're just going to be stubborn on what they got going on. They're going to trust, I guess, in this process of having CP3. But the thing that I'm worried about is I just pray to God that they do not start CP3 like at all. I don't like that one bit. Like, I don't know who thought that was a great idea, but that's a terrible idea. And I don't stand for that. But if they do, they're just rolling the dice out. I don't think they're acting smart at all. They're just rolling the dice out and seeing how the season goes. Because somebody in there still trusts the small ball lineup. And I think those days are over. Like I said, if you look at all the contenders right now, their front court is actually pretty strong. You know, you got the Bucks, Giannis, Brook. You got the Celtics. I like Porzingis, and I like who was it? Al Horford starting or at power forward. I
They
forgot.
probably won't be together starting, but
yeah,
you know.
you got Lakers. They're pretty big.
You
I mean,
they'll be starting.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lakers are low key kind of. They look good on paper, at least.
Nuggets, Jokic, like all of the contenders, true contenders, and these fakers like the Warriors, unfortunately, and the Suns that are like not that good front court defensively. I just think those are the ones that's.
How is the Warriors front court not good defensively though?
I don't think that like they're good defensively, but I honestly don't think that they would be able to hold up against the true contenders. I mean, I've seen it.
I think what he means is like we can get stops, but the defense closing the possession is going to be an issue because
Yeah, but that's offense, not defense, though, right?
No. Closing the defensive possession by getting a rebound gifted. You know what a defensive?
Oh,
rebound?
that part.
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
Wait. No way you finna try to check me on a rebound. Do you play basketball? Have you gotten a rebound in real life?
I do play basketball in real life.
Yeah,
I do play basketball in real life. Like when you get the ball off of a defensive stop, it's called a defensive rebound, and that's what.
Okay, Tori and Prince.
Oh, so you mean something that Jonathan Kuminga couldn't do, and that's why he didn't play in the playoffs? That's kind of
that's not why. It's because the lack of Steve Kerr.
Okay.
You know, like Steve Kerr is a very if it's not broke, don't like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like it was.
I'm just saying, I saw Moses Moody rebound in the playoffs. I did see that. I saw him getting a lot of these defensive rebounds. I don't know.
So where was that against the Lakers?
I mean, let's be honest. Golden State has a weakness in defensive rebounds, and
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Rebounds,
Yeah.
cool, but
That's
you guys.
So do your stops really matter if you can't get the rebound?
Like,
no, because they're not stops.
Exactly.
It
They're
did
not stopped.
and it's okay, you know. But enough,
It's okay.
enough with the Warriors, you know.
Okay. Okay, I agree.
Enough
Well,
with the
yeah, I
Warriors.
mean, Moody, you're welcome to
He
stay
said
on yours
enough
if
with the
you feel
Warriors
that-
on a Warriors show.
Yeah.
Let's just turn into Lakerland. Real quick.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you guys. So yes, we've talked about, you know, kind of our starters and what that's going to look like. I guess my main question, right? We have Wiggins and we missed him a lot last year when he was dealing with the personal issue. But you guys, if Draymond for some reason gets injured, let's just say he's out for 2 months. Let's say his back injury comes back and that happens. What are we going to do? I feel like we're just lacking in size. I feel like we're lacking in defense. And I guess, do you think that there is something that they have in their back pocket, the Warriors front office has in their back pocket, that they're saving to make some type of play? Because there's no way that we're going into the season like this, right? Or is it just
No,
me?
we
Do
are.
I feel like
we
we're
are.
missing something?
No, we
We're
are.
not a fleshed out
We are
team.
doing that.
No.
Like we can convince ourselves all we want, but we don't look good. I'm sorry.
Not gonna lie.
No.
I was in a place like that too, similar to you, Haley. But it's time to wake up. We are going into the season as we are currently.
We are.
Mm-hmm. We are. And it will probably be like that for the rest of the season as we do not trade in the trade deadline like that. The only reason
And it's fine because we got Chris Paul leadership. It's going to be okay.
Exactly. Like exactly.
Is
like,
this just a garbage season?
You guys traded at the deadline last year.
Yeah, but that was like the first time I think we did that out of like
you guys are turning a new leaf. Now
Yeah.
that's gonna be
That was Bob Myers' goodbye present to us, getting Gary Payton back on the team. It was like, I'll do this one last thing for y'all, and then I'm out.
I wouldn't mind Otto Porter Jr. back, honestly. I think he was performing well.
I don't think his ass gonna play like that.
That man cannot play more than 6
Can I say this though? I do believe we do have a guard, and his nickname is B Pod. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Brando Pojimski,
right?
Oh, I forgot.
I'm very high on this young man. I think from what I've seen him in college, great shooter off the catch and dribble, really good pull-up shooter. I think he handles the pick and roll well. He's a good passer. Like he's very he's not the fastest though, but he's very poetic in his movement. That's
poetic.
That's the
Poetic. That's very interesting. Poetic,
he's
huh?
slow, but he
These
gets there.
non-hooper terms are blowing.
You feel me? Like it's
that man said he's poetic. Right.
Mars doesn't play the game of basketball.
You got Shakespeare at point guard. All right. Like,
we got Shakespeare point guard.
Young Steve Nash, by the way.
Yeah,
he
went to the same college. Went to the same college.
No, he called him Young Steve Nash because of the player count, because that's how good of an offensive player he can be, like generational.
Steve Nash quickness clears. I don't think he's gonna get to the rim as well as a guy like Steve Nash was able to.
All right, guys.
That's my issue.
We are going to. I want to do this really quick. I just asked the chat. Do you guys think that the Warriors are going to miss the playoffs this season? Which I would have said at the end of last season. I would have been like, nah, I don't care what you say. Like, we have Steph, Clay, and Dre, not happening. But you guys could definitely answer that. And then I want to ask. I want to kind of reseed the West now that we have some new insights on who should be where by the time the season starts. I mean, there might be a few more changes, but nothing major. I don't think we're going to see too many major changes. So, Gifted, you start. I want you to just drop who you think the top 5 seeds in the West are going to be this season. I've seen some crazy lists, and most of them have the Warriors out far too low, in my opinion. But drop who you think. Is there anybody who's sneaking in there that wasn't there last season, or is anyone falling?
Let me remember what I had last week. It might change. I got Kings 1 seed, Denver as the 2 seed. I think I would have who would be the 3rd seed? So the Suns, I had an interest kind of mid. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with fine. Suns would be the 3 seed. I'll say Lakers are the 4 seed. I'll say Minnesota is the 5 seed, and I would say Warriors are probably the 6.
Okay, Mars.
Maybe.
I think Denver are the 1 seed. I think the Lakers are the 2 seed. I think the Suns are the 3 seed. I think the Pelicans are the 4 seed.
Yeah, there you go.
He's trolling.
Am I just going to the top 6?
Yeah, top 6 is good.
I think 5 will be the Clippers.
Fair.
And then 6 will be OKC.
Oh, so you think the Kings will be a playing team next year?
Yeah, I said
and Dubs as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Potential playing teams. They might miss it because Steph gets injured every year. Klay Thompson is still not Klay Thompson. If Steph plays below 65 games, you guys might miss the play-in, in my opinion. If Steph has an injury-riddled season, I don't think you guys can win enough games.
I shit on this team so much. I'm still much higher on this team than a lot of y'all. That's crazy.
I'm with Steph. The whole issue, if Steph is healthy, I think you guys make the playoffs. But he's been hurt each of the last two seasons. He's going to be 36 in March. Mm-hmm. It's likely he misses time, and I don't think you guys can supplement without Steph Curry.
That's why
we don't have Jordan either. So
he missed. Yeah, that's true. We did have. Yeah, he missed. Got injured twice last year. We're still able to get to 6. So
I trusted duos of Clay and Jordan, or Jordan and somebody else. I trusted that could supplement Steph's points for a short time at least. But now I just don't know where that's gonna come.
You don't trust CP3's mid-range capabilities. You don't trust that?
For 3 games.
I'm surprised you guys haven't brought up Andrew Wiggins though. I'm less worried about that because Andrew Wiggins played 37 games. If he plays what he normally plays, we're a much better team.
Good point. I forget about Wiggs. Yeah. Okay, KB, top 5 seeds unless or until you get to the Dubs.
Denver 1. I'm gonna say Phoenix 2. I'm really high on their offense and what it can be. I'm not gonna lie to you. LA 3.
Which LA?
The Lakers, the only actual Los Angeles team. But
interesting.
The Lakers 3. I'll respect the Kings. I think the Kings will still be relatively really good. So I think the Kings is 4. I'll go Warriors 5 and the Clippers 6.
Okay. Moody.
I'm gonna go Denver 1. Have to. I'm gonna put Kings 2. I know Mars don't think that, but Kings 2. 3. I'm gonna do Phoenix. 4, I'll do Pelicans, and then 5, I'll do Minnesota. Just because
Yeah, Minnesota, I was battling with. I wanted to put them at 6, but
I like
You said
Minnesota.
OKC for
They employ
Minnesota.
Carl Anthony Towns. Not moved, man.
And they have a
Cat's,
much
Cat's
better
overhated.
roster.
Cat's overhated. I'm gonna be honest.
He is overrated, but
Over.
Majorly
It's fine.
overhated.
Mars wants to be different, guys. Look at him.
I think they have the makings of one of the best defensive trios.
I think they have a good nine.
But
they have a
that's
good
fine. But you still
nine
employ
player rotation.
Yeah.
What does that mean, though? He's a good player that can fit into the team.
Is he better than Sabonis?
They employ a top 10.
We employ Chris Paul.
So what's
Cat?
that mean?
Wait, yeah, is Cat or did you ask if Cat's better than Sabonis?
Is he?
The answer is yes.
I think Cat's
Yes.
better than Sabonis,
Yes.
I also
Yes.
think he's better
Yes.
than Sabonis, but I just want to ask that.
That's what saying you can be different for no reason. Okay.
We're not having this conversation. Okay, out of the 3, I'm gonna say the 3 most they've done the most over the offseason, and they look good. I'm not gonna lie. I would say Milwaukee, Boston, and Phoenix. They've made some big money moves. So out of those 3 teams, and Moody, we'll start with you. Who's the biggest fraud? Who is the who's going to translate from paper to the court the best? So out of those 3 teams.
This is easy. Well, first off, the Suns are frauds. I mean, we all know this. That they gave up Aiden, which is I know Aiden was probably a locker room pest or whatever you want to call him, whatever. But Nurkic, that's who got traded over there?
Yep.
Nurk is the son.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't trust that at all. And then Bradley Beal is also injury prone. KD, and then for some reason Devin Booker has hamstring problems in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. And then for the Celtics, on paper that looks really, really good, but for some reason I feel like they're just going to just not do well. I don't know why. And then the Bucks, I trust them the most. So
Okay, I like that. KB.
Damn, I don't think any of those teams are fraudulent per se.
I guess
if one of them doesn't make the finals,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, because those are the top 3
I would say Phoenix, but they're not. I don't think they're fraudulent. I just think other teams are just better. Like Denver, I think would still be able to beat them. I think LA has a good chance of beating them as well, but so does Phoenix to a certain degree. I'm gonna be a little different. I'm low-key gonna go Boston. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie. You are not beating these Jason Tatum hater allegations
No,
at
it's
all,
actually
by the way. I'm
I'm
not gonna cap to you, bro.
Okay. You know what's insane? For those of you who don't know, on Twitter, people seem to believe that I despise Jason Tatum.
It's facts. It's facts. It's true.
And
you do.
I've actually said multiple times. I've said it today too that I think Jason Tatum is going to take a leap as a basketball player again. I'm actually very high on Jason Tatum.
Wait, so how are they frauds if Jason Tatum is taking a leap and getting better?
That's what I said. I still think they are because of their front court. I just don't believe in I have extreme health concerns for that. For KP, I think KP is very good theoretically for this
but
team.
not the Suns with Nurkic, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
Mars.
So I'm gonna stick to Boston, bro.
Yeah,
I think Boston is gonna be a little bit more fraudulent than Phoenix. I think Phoenix will be more real, and I think they'll just pose more issues for more teams. And Boston will just pose issues as well, but I don't think to the same degree. So I'm a believer in Phoenix. I'm a believer.
Okay, Mars.
I think every team has question marks. For me, the Bucks only question mark for me is if Adrian Griffin is a competent coach. That's all it is. I know they got Terry Stotts there. I'm hoping he's just only question mark. I don't feel the problem at the wing position as badly as you do. For me personally, just because I believe their defense is going to be centered around the rim protection. So I think they'll be. So you think they're going to be more like funnel these guys into the paint, like get them in here? Yeah, I think they're going to play most pick and roll scenarios in a way that they are trying to get people to go downhill. I think they're going to overplay 3-point shooters and force them into the lane. That's probably going to be the plan. So I'm not too low on their wing depth. It's going to be coaching for me. But I think it all comes down to the concept of redundancies. Phoenix on paper have the most redundancies with the star talent they have. They have a bunch of shot creators who thrive in the mid-range, who play off the ball well, but they don't have anyone who you really love on the ball as a creator for other people. The Bucks have barely any redundancy. Dame and Giannis complement each other pretty perfectly. Giannis downhill, Dame on the outside, pick and roll should be unstoppable if Giannis can set a hard screen, because his screen setting has been very questionable, but he has enough screening gravity, I guess, to force defenses to react. So they have very little redundancy. So that's why I think they're the least fraudulent. I think they're the best fit. Phoenix and Boston go up in the air because I don't think Jrue Holiday is a good enough initiator to really take the pressure of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But I do think he does add a level of scoring that they didn't have before, because I don't think Marcus Smart was as good of a scorer. So I think if I had to pick between Boston and Phoenix, I think Boston are less likely to make the finals than Phoenix are, in my opinion. And that's because the Bucks are in their conference. So I'll say the Bucks are the best team, then Phoenix, then Boston, in my opinion, right now.
So you think Boston's the most fraudulent, pretty much?
If I had to call one the most fraudulent, yes, it would be Boston, but I don't consider any of them to be fraudulent.
I think that's a really good word that you said, Mars, is redundancies. I think definitely Phoenix and Boston show signs of that, and also finding being cohesive, especially after you've had a central system that's worked for so long, or at least come close to working for the Boston Celtics. I think that's a really good point. I'm just curious. It could either go really, really right or really, really wrong with Porzingis, and I think we all kind of saw that. But they dove in, and they dove all in, which I think is respectable, to make it work for JB and JT instead of splitting them up, which is a route they definitely could have gone. They just decided, all right, let's blow up the system and try something new. So I do respect them for that. All right, Gifted, what about you?
We can't hear you, sir.
We can't hear you.
Muted.
I want him.
My bad. Go on mute. Thank you so much, KB. Yeah, I feel like the Suns are the clear answer for being the most fraudulent of these three. I don't understand how a team that trades Aiden, who for all his flaws is still a better player than Nurkic, who their best wing defender is Josh Okogie, is looked at to be less fraudulent than a Celtics team that just re-upped with a bunch of size and depth. And don't bring up, that front court, I'm not sure about Porzingis being healthy when you have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and multiple other players, including Yusuf Nurkic, who has a terrible contract as well that they just traded, to basically be on that team, that are also injury prone as well. And in terms of the West and the East, I think it's clear that the two best teams in the East are the Celtics and the Bucks. Are the Suns clearly the second best team in the West? Are they guaranteed to be in the conference finals? I don't think so. I think the Suns team can be exploited by a bunch of different teams matchup wise. And again, in terms of health and durability, they're also a team that you could point to many questions about. I think they're the most fraudulent of these three.
Okay, I agree. And guys, I'll send the link again if one of you guys want to come on in a little bit to share your thoughts. But now that everybody's pretty much saying, okay, it's gonna be Bucks and the Celtics Eastern Conference Finals. I think we could all agree on that. Of course, for that to actually happen, a lot of things have to go right. The season is survival of the fittest, anything's possible, right? But is it fair that we're kind of just overlooking Miami, who's just been in the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times? They could still make a move. The Sixers, Philly is a mess. They don't look great, but then we also have the Cavs, the Knicks, and some of these other guys. Should we be just ruling them out like that and just going all in with Milwaukee?
Yes, I understand. You're trying to be nice to say, oh, these teams have a chance. No, they don't. They don't have a chance. Miami made the finals shooting 40%. Miami made the finals shooting 40% from three. That's not happening. They lost their guards. Miami's cooked. The Cavs.
What you mean the Cavs?
The Cavs are cooked. The Knicks, you know who they have on their roster.
Wait. No. Wait. Let me get a KB here real quick. So, wait. I want everyone to listen to this, right? That is the sound of Jared Allen getting out-rebounded yet again on the offensive end by the Knicks team. You're telling me that this Cavalier team, that their whole plan has been, we're going to have Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell as our guards who can't really play defense, but we're going to be fine because our front court can also play defense. But that third guy is a Isaac Okoro or a Karis LeVert, either a offensive liability or a defensive liability. I don't see why you're saying Cavs, but go ahead.
But listen, what if they listen, right? guard problems, POA issues. Sounds like something that is happening in Milwaukee, right? Now, to Martha's point, he believes that the defensive scheme will be, let's funnel these guys to the paint and force them to try to create shots down low. What if the Cavs also implement that defensive style too, with guys like Jared Allen?
Then they're just the worst Milwaukee.
They were getting bullied by the Knicks in the playoffs. What are we talking about right now?
The worst Milwaukee Bucks.
That is literally a worse Milwaukee.
Or try.
Can they not pose that similar problem to a team like Boston, Loki?
They couldn't match up well with the Knicks. I don't understand what you're saying right now.
Well, shooting variance.
It's not shooting variance. It was defensive rebounding.
Offensive jump. If Evan Mobley takes the offensive jumps that people expected him to take last year, maybe the Cavs can be a hard out. But with Darius
I think they're just a super team. I don't take them serious at all. I hope y'all know this.
I think they need a small forward.
You're trying to play devil's advocate to no.
No. Actually, I'm not. No, I'm genuinely. I'm not high on the Cavs. Neither low. I don't care for that team. I think they're just going to be a playoff team that loses to like one of the actual contenders. But like you said, if Evan Mobley takes that lead, if Donovan Mitchell actually performs well and Darius Garland performs well in the postseason, they can give a little bit of problems to some team, like to some of the contenders. Now, do I think the other contenders will beat them? Probably, but I think it'll be interesting.
Let's just say the East is.
I don't think it's interesting at all. I think it's two teams.
You're a Kings fan. I'm not.
Yeah. Let's just say the East.
What does that mean with my point though?
All right, we're gonna move on. Let's just say that there's the Bucks and the Celtics are coming out of the East. Who's coming out of the West? If you're gonna say, because a lot of us, right? We said that we don't think the Phoenix Suns are technically, maybe offensively they're a firehouse, right? But maybe they're not going to be able to get past somebody like the Nuggets or anything. So, Gifted, you start. I mean, do you have Nuggets Kings coming out of the West? Do you have Mavs jumping up there somehow? Like who do you have coming out of the West?
I have potentially Nuggets, Lakers, and kind of whoever else. I think this year in the West is going to be very matchup dependent based on what you do against these other teams. I think the only team that I really have confidence in terms of making it to the Western Conference Finals would be Denver, considering that they have the best duo in the NBA still in my mind in that conference in terms of how they create offense for everyone and their continuity as a roster fresh off the championship run and their younger players who can get better and also outperform their contracts last year. I think they're the most complete team in the West where sure they might have some flaws, but I don't think their flaws stack up to the other teams in the Western Conference.
Okay.
This is meant to be a Warrior show. This is meant to be a Warrior show. You're talking about Nuggets, Lakers, conference finals. Where's the biasness? But I got Nuggets and Phoenix in the conference finals.
Who in Phoenix?
Where's the Rockets of Mars?
Yeah.
Listen, this year is just where we're gonna be like the Kings from last year. We're gonna just be a hard out in the first round. We're going to get beaten by a masterclass from a superstar who just beats us, and we just couldn't get it done. And then next year we'll push on.
I'm making a play.
When the Rocket Show gets introduced to PC, you'll hear all my takes.
Okay.
It's in the works. But yeah, I got Nuggets and Phoenix. I think the Lakers are just going to be on the same side of the bracket as the Nuggets, probably.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why.
So you think if they were to match up like the Phoenix, you think Phoenix would beat the Lakers in a 7-game series?
If Phoenix and the Lakers play,
that's a fun series.
I don't want to say it comes down to health, but
it kind of does. I can see that angle for sure.
That's where I'm at. Whichever team just has less health concerns, I think, is the one that wins.
Yeah.
But if they're both fully healthy, 7-game series, Lakers, Suns. I'll take the Phoenix Suns because I think the Lakers, in order to slow down Phoenix, they're going to have to put some offensive question marks on the floor, which plays into Phoenix's hands defensively and makes life easier in terms of them shrinking the floor. Guys like Jared Vanderbilt are going to have to play heavy minutes in order to slow down Phoenix. That makes Phoenix defense easier because AD, unless his jump shot comes back, which I'm not putting stock in. So I think... so that's where I'm at. I'm at Phoenix will probably win that series. So I got Phoenix, Denver conference finals. Not an outside shot. Lakers will be like my third choice, and then outside shot to a team like the New Orleans Pelicans or the Dallas Mavericks.
Wow.
Okay.
I think the rebounding for Phoenix is going to be the question mark that really, I would say, makes or breaks them. If they don't have the size from the wing and they can't rebound, I think that's gonna hurt them. Obviously,
Bol
they
Bol's
have
rebounding.
elite shot making, but
I mean, Nurkic is a very
I
good
don't know.
rebounder. If there's one thing Nurkic can do on defense is rebound. So
he can rebound.
I need-
Yeah,
He's a good rebounder and he's a good passer. Like a touch passer, he's really good at that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
just
I
putting
think
all
that's
these
why the
European
Lakers
bigs, big
series
passes,
is very
interesting.
interesting because Nurkic
What,
can
Mark?
rebound the ball, and I think he can actually like play a bit more possessions in that series because LA likes to play big, so maybe he can play more. But at the same time, I can see AD being a tremendous matchup problem for him, and their next big after that would be Jrue Eubanks. So I don't.
Would it be fair
I don't
to
know.
say that Phoenix is more mobile than the Lakers?
They got a lot
More
of high
mobile?
they got a lot of high energy mobile guys, in my opinion.
Because like I feel like one problem the Lakers had last year and they still might have is transition defense. And if Phoenix is somehow able to get stops on like the Lakers offense or whatever, transition wise, they could just like be running amok on the Lakers in terms of like in that series and give them problems in terms of transition baskets. And especially with guys like Devin Booker, KD, Bradley Beal, like they could just get on and run. So that would be pretty interesting to see that as well. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually want to see that series.
I'm torn between choices because I see the angle which Mars is coming from and you gifted in terms of one injury and then two like issues for Phoenix's defense because it can be exploited. And the same thing as to what Mars said about if the LA wants to get stops, they're gonna have to put on guys on the floor who are offensive liabilities. And I low-key feel you could say the same thing for Phoenix to a certain degree. Like if you want to get stops, you're gonna have to put guys on the floor who are kind of offensive liabilities to a certain extent as well. So, but off of sheer offensive output, because I do value that more than defense, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna have to say Phoenix. I think Phoenix would win in like a hard fought 7 though. I think
You're
KD
betting against LeBron
Against
James
LA?
in the game 7. You're betting against LeBron James in the game 7.
Yeah, I am.
Why are you so high on the Phoenix Suns, KB? Because
I think their offense is going to be I think their offense is going to be actually very good.
What wins championships? Offense or defense?
When that good of an offense?
I don't know any team that's won a championship that couldn't put the ball in the basket.
That's true, but defense is. I just think if you're going to be going up against a Denver Nuggets team, a Boston Celtics team, even Milwaukee Bucks, the Suns aren't going to cut it. The Suns are not going to cut it.
Like if Denver, I think Denver would beat a lot of these teams, but Denver is not that great. Like this is the problem that I had last year, right? Denver was not challenged enough defensively so that they got by like a lot of these teams, and they were just better offensively, but they just were not challenged. Look at the teams they played. They played Minnesota, LA, and Phoenix. The most challenging team offensively that they had to face was Phoenix, and that was the longest series they were in. Every other team was 5 or less. So like,
but I think what you're really highlighting is they didn't have to play specifically a guard that's shooting volume threes and bending their defense consistently.
No,
Devin Booker,
even LeBron, who in Game 4 was hurt, like Game 4 was going crazy. He was actually going downhill and getting to the basket, and that you could clearly see that was an issue. It just LeBron's foot was compromised, so he couldn't do it all the time. But in that one game, you could clearly tell LeBron James's foot is somewhat healthy. He's able to get downhill and give a person like Jokic, give guys like Aaron Gordon, MPJ problems down low, like because they just weren't challenged enough defensively. And now people think that like this team plays defense when in reality they do, but not to the level that people think they are actually playing defense at.
The Bucks would break this Denver defense. Like, and right now, if they play the series, Denver would have no answer to stop the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Actually, that would be such a. I know a lot of people weren't high.
I think the same thing for Denver though too.
A lot of people were high on Denver in the playoffs, and I think it'd be dope to.
I like the Bucks' front court too, but I think Jokic is still going to get his regardless. But I will also say Jamal Murray. You said what?
It's Jokic. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I also think someone like Jamal Murray in that series would like low key. He would cook.
Like a Dame Jamal Murray and then a Giannis Jokic. Like
that whole system of like funneling into the paint would work in their favor when they run like inverted pick and rolls and stuff like that. And Jamal Murray's like bodying all these small guards because he likes to. Like,
Dude, Aaron Gordon on switches is crazy. Like I don't.
Not gonna lie, it'd be kind of crazy.
But
I do see Mars's angle. The Jokic will get absolutely fried. Go ahead.
Sorry. Here's a hypothetical. Two guys that are, I think, have maybe 1 to 2 seasons left in the league where they're at without being extremely dissatisfied with where they're at, and that's Luka Doncic and that's Joel Embiid. Okay, so Moody, I'll start with you. Out of those two, who do you think is most likely to leave their city first and or get a major star, and where do you think they would fit well? Where would you like to see them go?
Well, I would actually like switch up like what you said. First off, Joel is going to be the first to leave. That's just that Luka is stuck with Dallas. I think actually Dallas is going to run Kyrie out of the building, where Luka doesn't need a star. They're just going to put a bunch of good role players around him. Like, I feel like that's what's going to happen. And then in terms of Joel getting a new star, that I don't know yet, but James Harden is definitely not going to work. James Harden's career actually, in my opinion, is going down, and I don't think he will be that valuable in the next 2 to 3 years. So, yeah.
Okay, I like it.
If Dallas are gonna run Kyrie out, why don't Philly go get Kyrie?
Well, they should. I think LA should go get Kyrie if they put all they have a lot of pieces. Lakers could just give up a lot of those guys that they don't need and try to get Kyrie. Honestly,
why would they do that?
That'd be crazy. They would do. Oh,
Why would they
it's
need that?
LA.
They got Austin Reeves.
LA wouldn't do that.
But they wouldn't give up Austin Reeves for Kyrie, would they?
You have arguably, according to some Laker fans, a
signed
top 30 player in the league in Austin Reeves. So,
Oh
like,
God, we're not.
why would you give that up?
No.
But that is I agree with you. Like, if Kyrie opens up, I mean, when do you see that happening? Before the trade deadline? Like, I agree with you. I've said this multiple times. I don't think that's gonna work. I think Luka's gonna be. I think there's gonna be some frustration that occurs between them this season. We know Kyrie, and I love Kyrie so much, but I don't think he's gonna. Something's gonna come up. Let's be honest. So whether it's between him and Mark Cuban, him and Luka, him and somebody else on the team, it's gonna happen. So when does that happen for the Mavs?
That's the next season. It's not going to happen in the middle of the season. They're gonna let this play out all the way and let them see if they can get to the playoffs and do some damage in the playoffs. And then afterwards, once they lose, maybe first round or not even get to the playoffs, they're going to just cut it loose and make Luka like a Cavs LeBron without Kyrie or like D Wade or something. I feel like that's what's going to happen.
I must be the only one who thinks this Luka and Kyrie thing is gonna work.
You're not the only one, but I think more people are sold on it than not sold. I'm just one of the people that are not sold.
I believe in history. I don't think Kyrie's gonna cause problems. I think
no, he's not gonna cause problems. It's just
I think he'll be all right.
Out how they want them to be. Like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to have Luka be like Kyrie's LeBron. You know, he plays next to like a forward, almost like a big body build, and that can play make as well. But that's just not going to work, honestly.
I don't think it's an indictment on Luka and Kyrie. I just think the roster itself defensively, you have a lot of question marks. They still don't have like a true big man. That's really it. I think Luka and Kyrie are a perfect fit. It's just what's around them is the question.
I agree. I don't think I'm going to win this year, but if they can build with a proper big, if Derek Lively pans out, maybe if
they get Rob Williams,
yeah, that's where I'm at. They need the other three pieces in the starting five. I like Josh
right,
Green, but they need the other pieces. That they need the other pieces around Luka and Kyrie, in my opinion. I think Luka and Kyrie together can work. It's just about what you put around them.
If they add people like Dallas next time, people like Robert Williams, people like Malcolm Brogdon into that roster, I think that's a very
that's looking good.
You should try to go after those two guys, because having those as a backup guard and a starting five of that caliber, and then having Derek Lively be able to come off the bench as well, and also I guess be like a mentee to Robert Williams in terms of being a defender and a shot blocker as well. That would be really, really well. But am I the only one high on Kyrie and Luka? I think they'll be fine.
It's not that I'm not high on them. It's that I assume, I guess, history will repeat itself, whatever that means. But I think Kyrie is truly going into this season wanting to do his very best and wanting to fit into that system. And they actually had a little bit of time at the end of last season. And of course they pulled Luka early. So I think that they can make it work. It's just a matter of how long is it going to work until something happens, or maybe like you said, that rotation is just not filled out enough for them to even really be contenders this season. Although I like some of the pieces that they have. I'm curious to see, but the team that none of you guys have mentioned not in your top 5, top 6, or really at all, is the Memphis Grizzlies, who only a few seasons ago were a top 2, 3 seed. I agree with it. I wouldn't have mentioned them either, but what do you guys think as far as they go? Some of the pieces they've gotten, and of course, Ja missing the first several games.
Yeah,
Are they done?
I don't think it's crazy to say Memphis, by the way.
That offense is cooked. I'm sorry.
I think their defense can be very good. I actually think Memphis has an argument to still make the playoffs. I'm just not sure of, like, I'm not confident in my conference seedings right now. I feel like there's 11 deep teams that can make the playoffs. I think Memphis, year by year, has always been a team that people often count out, but their defense has always been their calling card. I think Brandon Clark not being back this season is going to hurt them because he provided a lot of value as a backup big. I think Steven Adams not being confirmed healthy or not for the season is a big issue as well. And losing Tyus Jones at the start of the season with no Ja Morant is going to be tough. A lot of pressure is going to be put on JJJ and also Bane and Smart offensively. But I think defensively, they're going to be a very good team, which is their claim to make the playoffs in my mind.
They should be around a 40-win team, I think. Hopefully a little more, but I think they can stay in the 40-win mark, honestly.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So,
I think they're not high on. Their defense is worse. They're missing Ja for 25 games.
Yeah, that job.
You think Dylan was more? You think Dylan will be more impactful for them than Marcus Smart?
I don't like I spoke about this as well. I don't like they just lost size, and I know Marcus Smart can guard up like through positions.
Just having someone bigger is just better.
But having someone who's 6'7" versus someone who's 6'3", 6'4", and then you get to a point where if Marcus Smart has to guard a wing, you now have Ja Morant and Desmond Bane guarding teams' guards. And that's a problem because Ja Morant is a terrible defender and Desmond Bane isn't great. He's okay and he tries, but he's not great. And then you're at a point where if you're playing, for example, the Bucks, what Marcus Smart would theoretically have to play Dame, but now you have Chris Middleton going up against the 6'2" guards. Like there's just mismatches all over the court due to a lack of size. They don't have to even
go there. If they were to play the Nuggets, you don't have to play someone like the Bucks. There's people in conference right now who just like have advantages over them. And I also think, like you said, like Gifted said, sorry, 25 games for Ja, that's gonna hurt their offense as well too. Brandon Clark not being there as well. Triple J, I think he's a really good player. I just think offensively, I'm in agreement with Mars that he's kind of capped out. I think he needs to improve. I just don't see where the improvement's going to come from. And I just think there's more established teams that are just ready to go. And like with Ja missing that much games, I just think it's going to be hard for them to make that ground up. Like especially with the competitive West, I just think it's going to be.
I think JJJ showed signs last year of his offense peaking, but the question is, can he tap into some of that for an entire season? And I don't know how realistic that is. I mean, his offense.
They're relying on Desmond Bane as a primary shot creator.
And I think you can. I think we sleep on Desmond Bane. Like maybe not.
I think Bane is good.
He's hella good, and he can. I think he's good. I think he's a leader. I think he can pick up the pieces, and I think he's going to keep that energy going. The only thing is, what is that team respect going to look like for Ja Morant by the time he comes back? I'm sure that they all have I'm sure that they're already doing like workouts, and I'm sure they stay connected. And I know Desmond and him are for what we can see pretty close. So I think there's some rapport there, but I just think that like shift in leadership is going to come from Desmond Bane, and when Ja comes back, is that going to impact anything? I'm curious.
I think that's why you get Marcus Smart though, because Tyus Jones cannot play offensively with defensively with Ja Morant. Marcus can actually close out lineups next to Ja. Tyus can't. The question is, can they just hold up water until Ja gets back? I think they can, but there's a lot of good teams in the West. So if you don't think that, I don't think that's crazy to say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
I think this is the perfect opportunity for Triple J to like really showcase. I feel like this is one of his only chances to really prove if he's like a true all-star or not. This time that Ja's out, he could really showcase that he in all honesty, he's supposed to be the best player on that team. He already has the defense. He's just a couple offensive moves away and consistency away from being the best player on that team. And could be a true young big man for the upcoming, years to come. Like, honestly, we could use him in the Olympics again if he just get it together. Because that embarrassment he had in the Olympics, not in the Olympics, the FIBA World Cup, whatever it's called, he could use that motivation to like get better and like be a true all-star. Like, honestly, I feel like that would push the Memphis Grizzlies even more.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. I hope a lot of those and all those guys that they fell short in a lot of ways. I hope that this is a push for them. But okay, we have about like 20 minutes left. So if you guys all want to say, you're welcome to. We're gonna do a little bit of a award ceremony prediction, okay? Because I want to meet up once all the awards come out at the end of next season. We got to get an early start. Obviously, we'll do a midway through the season prediction as well if we want to switch it up. But I'm going to get everybody's list now, and we're going to have receipts for the time that it comes next season. So we're going to start with Defensive Player of the Year awards. And I'm going to write down everybody's choice, and then we will see how, who gets the most correct and who we're looking at. So Gifted, we'll start with you. Who do you have for Defensive Player of the Year next season?
I just want to say first, I think it's funny holding us accountable for who we think when I've never thought of this until now. But
what?
Okay,
You haven't
fine.
thought about it at all? Really?
No.
excuse.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
sure.
Come on, get on your game, Gifted.
Real ones know their Defensive Player of the Year just off the top of their head. Like, that's just
real ones know.
Imagine not knowing. Could never be me.
Well, that's definitely me, and I have no problem.
I pull up to every show knowing who my MVP pick is for the next year.
No, you do not.
Absolutely.
No hesitation either.
You have to know.
El troll.
Okay. Oh, you want us to come back to Gifted?
You said Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yeah, because let's be honest, I don't want to see Rudy Gobert out there again. I'm sorry. I don't want to see Jaren. Like, some of the Defensive Player of the Years we've had, like, if you look at the long history of Defensive Player of the Years, they've been real weak the last 7 years. Real weak.
I mean, the Rudy Gobert hit's a bit strange to me.
It's a play of translation. It's Terrence Mann 39 points.
It could be Rudy Gobert, by the way.
It's 5 out of 10.
I don't get it. Genuinely, I don't get it.
But maybe we'll see something impressive this season. So, Gifted, we could skip you if you want to think about it.
I'm gonna throw some out there. Okay. If the Timberwolves are good, it could potentially be Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I was just
if he's at that level defensively.
Oh, you're on the belief that they're still on this wing hype that they're praising perimeter defenders stuff.
I think they might be on that still, Mars.
What was his injury, Gifted? Didn't he suffer an injury? That was gonna.
He just hurt his hand.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, he punched the chair. Right? Was it? Did he punch the chair?
He hit something and then missed the playoffs.
Yeah, that was it.
Nice.
Okay, I like that pick. Kind of unexpected. Mars.
The only reason Anthony Davis won't win it is because he won't play 65 games. I'm picking him. If he plays 65 games, he'll win it. But the only reason he won't is if he doesn't play enough games.
So what's your realistic pick?
Anthony Davis is going to play 65 games.
But just say he won't.
The only reason he would, the only reason why he won't win it is if he's not available for the 65 games. If he's played 65, he's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year.
I just want to say, I like how you say you had your pick ready, but then in one breath you're saying he wouldn't win it if he doesn't play 65, but you think he will play 65, right?
He's my pick.
Is he playing 65 though?
Yes, he's my pick because I think he's going to play 65. The only reason why it won't be AD is because he won't play 65 games. That would be the only reason why it wouldn't be.
That's why I didn't pick him. I think he plays 60, not 65.
I think he plays the extra 5 games and plays 20 minutes just to get.
Well, if we're doing the if he plays 65, well, if Draymond plays 65, why can't he win it?
Is that your pick?
Because Anthony Davis is better.
Is he?
If AD can play 65 games,
I'm not even going to
definitely
entertain it and start. I'm not.
Nah, but my pick, I'm not gonna lie. My pick is Evan Mobley. To be honest with you.
You know what? Also not a bad pick.
I think Evan Mobley is gonna take another leap defensively this year. I think the Cavs defense, as much as Gifted wants to hate on the guards, I think they will kind of play a similar style to the Bucks in terms of funneling them to the paint. I think Evan Mobley will showcase why he's one of the better young defenders in our league and has a really high potential defensively in terms of his versatility as a defender. And I'm just really high on him as a player in general. So I think he will be the DPOY of 2020 of the 2024 NBA season. That's my pick.
Okay. Rudy?
Well, y'all kind of stole mine with the Jaden and the Evan Mobley. So I'm gonna just throw out an honorable mention just to be different. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but Victor Wembanyama, I don't know, like
That'd be insane.
Rookie of the Year.
I'm
Plus,
not gonna lie. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I'm just putting. I
Definitely
don't think it's out of
not.
the realm. Of
A
possibility.
DPOY would
Definitely
be
not.
crazy
Yeah,
first year. I'm not gonna
DPOY
lie.
and rookie.
I
That
don't,
was
lit.
I
That
don't,
was
I
lit.
don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
He doesn't know you, bro. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know you. Don't understand him, bro.
People called me a Wemby hater already. I don't think
He doesn't know you, bro.
They did call you a Wemby hater, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's possible.
Okay, we'll move into rookie of the year. My pick, just to be different, I'm gonna say Marcus Smart because I think that he has something to prove. So we'll see how that works out. But rookie of the year, we'll go back the other way around. Moody, who you looking at for rookie of the year? Are you taking the safe bet or something a little different?
it's not the safe bet. It's the bet to go with, and that's Vic. I'm sorry, unless he gets injured pretty much the whole season, I feel like that's the safe bet and the real bet to go with is Vic.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it on me?
Yeah, you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's on you.
Only thing is, I think Victor would get rookie of the year, but if he were to play enough games, I don't know why. I just feel like he's not going to play hella games in his rookie season. I just don't feel like he's going to be out there that much. I feel like someone like Scoot will be. So my pick, I'll go on a limb here and say Scoot Henderson will win rookie of the year because I think he'll just be on the floor more, and he has a better prepared team per se, like around him already, to kind of flourish as a rookie. So I think he'll be able to win rookie of the year, but I do think Victor Wembanyama was the better talent, though. I just don't think he'll be out on the floor as much. That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, really quick, for rookie there, you have to play 65 games as well. Does that apply to that award as well?
Yeah, every award you have to play.
All awards
yeah.
is 65 games, which is
Every
why
single
I
one.
don't think.
Because
Which is why I don't think Wemby's gonna win.
That's why I'm
Yep.
thinking, because you know how Pop rolls. Is he going to even allow him to play 65 games next season?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Even if he's healthy, I'd be surprised.
Even if he's healthy, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I don't think
Yeah,
he's gonna
we'll
win it. That's
Yeah,
why he's not.
Still my take, guys. Go ahead, bro. Still my take.
See, this is the thing. As someone, I'm on like 8 shows a week. I've discussed rookie of the year like 9 times. So
Yeah,
if anything,
sorry.
you're stealing mine.
I've discussed it as well.
I've been said I don't think he's gonna play 65 games. It's also why I don't think Chet Holmgren's gonna win rookie of the year. I don't think either of them are gonna play 65 games, even though I think they're the 2 best rookies this year.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to pick outside of them, I'm very high on Amen Thompson, but I'm not going to be biased. So I'm going to also go with Scoot Henderson as my rookie of the year because I'm very low on Brandon Miller. And I don't think anyone else is really going to get the opportunity to play and put up the number. Because rookie of the year is really just about numbers. It's not really about impact on winning or anything.
Yeah.
It's just about who's going to put up the most numbers. And I think Scoot's probably going to have like the best box score out of any of the rookies. So I'm going to go with him.
I
got Scoot Henderson as well.
No, I said I still think he's going to be efficient, like in general. I think because of who's around him on the floor, I think he's going to be fine. Depends though. If Chauncey Billups is going to be a terrorist, then I might have to question that a little bit.
I think they'll make it work, but we'll see. Gifted.
I do want to shout out Keontae George. I think he's going to be very good on the Jazz as well, and the Jazz might be sneaky more competitive. I do think he has a profile to potentially play the 65, but I think that Scoot is going to have more of the buzz based on all the moves Portland has made, and he's also going to be in a good enough system to put up the stats. So I lean towards Scoot as well for those reasons. But Keontae George, I think he's going to be really good his rookie year as well.
Okay, and then your MVP. This obviously is a long shot. I don't want to put you on the spot, but like if super early MVP predictions. So you got.
Yeah, for me, I got Jokic, and the reason why is for some reason voters didn't want to give him 3 MVPs in a row, and then he balled out in the playoffs and won a title. So I think they're not going to try to correct for the flaw that they made last year. I think the Nuggets are still going to be like a top 2 seed in the Western Conference, and I think how Jokic plays is going to translate yet again for another season. And also, I know for a fact he's playing 65 games because he plays pretty much every game for the Nuggets routinely. So for me, the MVP is going to go to Jokic yet again.
How many players have won 3 MVPs in history?
3? I don't know.
You got like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. No,
Well,
you got like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Moses
just
Malone,
yeah.
Kareem, Magic Johnson, LeBron, and Jordan. Am I missing anyone?
I thought Bird. You said
I said Bird, right?
Okay.
I think there's like 7 people. I don't know if they want to put Jokic in the category of 3-time MVP winners. Same reason they didn't want to put him in the category of 3 in a row MVP winners, even though.
And then he went through his playoff run, so now that frame of he's not one of those players is gone out of a lot of the voters' minds. I think they're going to try to overcorrect. Normally, for these types of awards, they give it to a player that might not be playing at the same caliber as they did before, but to correct for an issue they made in the past, they will reward that player.
Yeah, that's why I'm certain it will not be Joel Embiid. He is he could put up 50 a game, and I don't think he's ready.
It's gonna be tough for him to get that this year. Yeah,
you think the media is done with him?
Yeah, and until he makes the conference finals,
I think it's good.
Eligible for MVP awards.
Sad. Yeah.
So I've got, for me, it's between 2 people. It's between Jokic and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I think Giannis won't have to play 65 games for the Bucks this year. I think Damian Lillard will probably play more games than Giannis. I know he's been, well, actually, he wasn't even really injured this year. They just sat him down at the end of the season. I think Giannis probably won't play 65, and if he does, he'll just make the threshold. I think Jason Tatum routinely plays enough games. I think Boston, with the trades they've made, will be one of the highest seeds in the league. He's going to put up similar numbers to what he did. The media is ready to make Jason Tatum or Luka an MVP. They've been waiting. They just needed the right opportunity to do so. He's got the playoff experience. He's been to the finals. He's done everything already. And Luka's not going to be a high enough seed, in my opinion, to get it. So I think Jason Tatum, this is the year that he wins it.
Good prediction. KB?
I'm not going to lie. I think, damn, I'm a little bit torn.
So you're not prepared.
No. I said who I think my MVP was already. I've said it before. But the thing is, when I'm thinking about it now, I think Luka might have one of those seasons, but I'm going to still say Jokic. I think what happened last year in terms of what kind of season Jokic has as a scorer, as a playmaker, the type of postseason he's had, like putting up these all-time numbers. I just think even though like the media might not believe he's that caliber player where he might be deserving of be a 3-time MVP, he's just been at that level to where it's just been him and a gap between the other best players on the planet to me as a player. And he's just still on that level now. I think he'll meet the threshold as well. I think the team as in general will just be a really dominant team in the West. Like I'm predicting they were going to get like 60 wins. I'm not going to lie. Like they're going to be like a really good ball club the following season. And I just think Jokic is going to continue to average his like 26, 11, and 9 on like +9, you know, like on +10 almost, like, and just going to continue to be dominant as a playmaker, as a scorer, and just walk away with the MVP. Now, my dark horse is Luka. So I do feel like he has a chip on his shoulder as a player. He wants to prove more that he's up there with the upper echelon of players in the NBA. I think with the pairing of Kyrie, there's obviously still some question marks in terms of roster construction, but I truly believe that like he has the capability of averaging, even if he was like a 6 seed, if he has a dominant season where he averages like 32, 9, and 8 on like +8, I think he could definitely be a guy who is a caliber
+8.
Yeah, like plus I'm talking about like a crazy season.
Okay,
like I'm talking like some crazy things. He would have to improve like as a free throw shooter to be like a +8, but a +8's a little bit of a drag. I'll say like realistically for him, it'll probably be like a +5 because he's not that great of a free throw shooter. So I think that would be very good, and I think he would be in contention of MVP as well. But my pick is Jokic as well. I think Jokic is going to win.
I just want to say you're welcome for my take, KB. Got you.
Yeah, we need to make KB go first. He's just stealing people's takes at this point.
You said my take literally like 10 minutes ago. I don't know what you're
because I had made that take 4 weeks ago.
No, you didn't.
So if anything, you copied my take.
No one heard you. No one heard you.
I'm sure it's on some shows.
I said it in front of 2,000 people. All right, whatever, cool.
When was this? Pull up the tape. I want to hear it, bro.
Go watch the panel episode when we talk about the draft, man. Go watch the panel episode.
Okay, Moody, MVP pick, and then share your most improved player pick, and then that'll be our last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jason Tatum for the first one. I want him to. I think he's due for one. Him and Luka are due for one. Honestly, I just don't know. Well, I do expect the Celtics to be the number 1 seed. So that would be a perfect opportunity if he could just keep it at like 27 a game, 26.5. I feel like he'll get it. A dark horse for me, honestly, is AD. I don't know why. I just want to see him get a MVP. And if he plays 65 games and the Lakers are at least a 3 seed, then yeah. And then for my most improved,
Ben Simmons.
That's a great pick. Hey,
that is a funny pick. Oh man,
be ready for the Ben Simmons redemption tour.
Okay.
Most improved. I want to go if Anthony Edwards can go from like if he could just go to like 28 a game. I feel like that would be my most improved is Anthony Edwards. I don't know if that's possible, but you know.
Okay, yeah. I like it. KB.
My most improved, man. He was snubbed a couple years ago, actually. I'm not gonna lie. So
he's gonna improve double again.
Exactly. Because
that's what happens when KB comes up with his own takes. He says stuff.
No, listen.
It's looking wrong.
I don't know if it's actually no. I might be bugging. I'm thinking about 6-man. I don't know if it was most improved, but I believe Jordan Poole was most improved player of the year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I believe it.
That's not bad at all.
No, that's
is because
what do you mean he was snubbed a couple years ago?
I think you do mean 6-man.
I don't know if it was 6-man or most improved player. But he was in the voting of one of the two, and I think he should have been the winner of one of those awards.
Is it the year Ja Morant won it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You can't say he's snubbed when that should have been Desmond Bane, but I'll digress.
Okay. Anyways,
great pick.
No one cares about T-Rex terms. Jordan Poole, I think he will like have a much better season in comparison to last year. And I think because he's not in a winning situation, he's going to be able to just flourish as a basketball player. I think he'll have a much more efficient year. And I think like he has a chip on his shoulders to just prove himself as like as one of the better like backup, I guess, guards in the NBA, or someone who you can play for a championship team to actually like improve your team as a whole. So I'm a believer, man. It's a pool party, you know what I'm saying? Kid Splash for most improved player of the year. That's my pick.
Let's go.
Jordan Poole being more efficient is a take I didn't expect to hear this year.
Come on, Mars.
Why not? Why? You're hating.
He just gets put on a worse offensive team and becomes more efficient. I mean,
he gets to take more shots. Why not, bro?
That's
then he'll probably be
opposite of more efficiency. That's usually. I get it when you can't copy other people's takes. You say stuff that doesn't make sense. It's fine.
No.
It's fine. It's now my pick.
See, this is what Mars does.
Never be an allegation.
Let me make my pick.
That's the thing. It's not my fault. All right. The guy came off of a very inefficient, bad season, and then the year prior he had his much better season in terms of like his play on an actual contending team. It's very possible for him to average like 23, 24 points on legitimately like +1, 2. That's the type.
Is that really moving you for most improved? It's not moving me. I'm not gonna lie.
Off of the season he just came off of, it will look a lot better than what.
Yeah, but he was averaging 18 points, going from 18 to like.
He averaged 20 last year.
No, he averaged 20. So if he went from
so that's definitely not moving me.
If he went from 3 to 4 points higher on like, I'm pretty sure he was below league efficiency just last year as well. Was he not, or was he just at league efficiency?
Well, I don't. This year you think he can be +1? That's like a 2% difference. He was like,
it can still look a lot better. I think he'll just like improve a lot more. I think
it was an L take, so I can make my pick, please.
It wasn't an L take. I'm sticking with it.
Cool. I hate the way they do most improved, but the way they do it, I think Scotty Barnes is going to win it this year. I think his scoring output is going to go up just with the way Toronto are probably going to use him more as a ball handler. Now I'm not very high on the efficiency and the fact that he can't make mid-range jump shots, but I think he'll probably be in the realm of 18 to 21 points a game, 6-7 rebounds, 5-6 assists. The Raptors won't be very good, but I expect them to try and be competitive. Like, I think they're not going to actively try and lose games, but I just think they're not going to be very good. They're around 40 wins for me. And I think Scotty Barnes, after having what people deemed as a down second season, I think he's going to bounce back, have a good third season, show that he's a very good, still a very good defender, versatile defender, does so many things well. And once his scoring output goes up, I expect him to be the most improved player, even though I think the most improved player should never go to third-year players, but that's what they seem to be doing.
No way he went at my take and said Scotty Barnes for most improved. Oh my god.
Yeah, respect Scotty Barnes. I was gonna say Jalen Green, but there's not much to improve on.
I would have actually respected that.
Oh,
take.
that's why you didn't say Jalen Green. That's
Yeah,
funny.
there's not much to improve on. So
Okay, Gifted.
Yeah, my picks were between 3 players. Initially, I was gonna say Jabari Smith, but I feel like the team that he's on, there's a lot of people that are gonna take the ball. I didn't make the take. If you actually listen, it's not gonna be him. I did think about it, and then I thought about Houston and how bad they're gonna be. Yeah. So it won't be him. I think because of like the ball movement and like everything that he has to involve for that team. I just don't think he's going to have enough of a shine to get it. I think my eyes for most improved, honestly, points towards Memphis. And I say this because Memphis is a team that is not going to have Ja Morant involved. They have a player that looked productive in a playoff series against Golden State. Didn't really play much of last season because of injury, but I think generally does have the talent to potentially reach that level and is going to have to while they're gone. Specifically, I think for him as a wing, he projects to be pretty good, but again, hasn't really gotten the time, but Memphis still believes in him. I think that for his ascension on that Memphis team to be what it needs to be, I think he needs to continue to keep making shots and being able to play defense at a high level. I think while Ja is gone, he's going to be able to thrive. So overall, that's my pick.
You said Memphis. Your pick was Memphis. What? You never said a player's name.
That's what I
never said his name.
Yeah,
you said I'm looking at Memphis. I was waiting for you to like say the name. I thought you were just saving it to the end.
I just filled in the blank.
No, he said I'm looking towards Memphis. That's what he said.
We all mentally filled in the blank, I think, but he never said
was
it.
Desmond Bain, right? Was it Desmond Bain? Is that who you're referring to?
It's not Desmond Bain.
Oh, that's who I
thought of. Williams. I didn't know who he was talking about.
Who are you talking about?
John Contra?
John Contra. John Contra is hilarious.
Are you talking about Triple J?
Nah.
I'm not talking about Triple.
Who are you talking about?
Why would Triple J? Why would Triple J be in the running for it if he won a Defensive Player of the Year?
It can't be Marcus Smart.
Zaire Williams.
It was Zaire Williams. So I was thinking Zaire Williams in my head. I was gonna say okay because he's terrible.
I didn't even think about Zaire Williams. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about that
because he's not good. But I guess if he goes from trash to
I think if Memphis is gonna be good, it would have to be Zaire Williams.
Off the backs of Zaire Williams.
Yes.
Yeah. Believe in Zaire Williams is tough.
Scotty Barnes and then Zaire Williams that's back to back.
I'm taking
straight ones, guys.
Okay, guys. Well, we are about to wrap up the show, so I appreciate Mars and Moody for coming and joining us today. I know we have a lot. There'll probably be a lot more coming in this following week, and I mean, preseason starts in like 8 days, right?
It starts very soon. Yeah.
It starts on the 5th, I think. Yeah, so that's like
why do I keep hearing
6 days?
Oh, it's October 1st today. So yeah, 7 days now. Or whatever, 2 weeks. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. You're welcome anytime. And then we'll just start closing out the show. But yeah, appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having me. I had fun. Thank you.
I also had fun. Thank you very much.
Bye, Mars. Thank you.
Yeah, good
dubs.
Yeah, LKB. Nice to see you.
Oh yeah, one of the biggest Warriors fans.
Yeah.
I realize Mars is my biggest hater on this platform, but I love it, man. I let it grind.
Yeah.
Believe in you have the motion to get haters is crazy, but
I do.
I'll see you guys when I see you. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, bye guys. Thank you so much.
Peace.
That was great. Oh, my bad. Let him move there. But yeah, make sure you guys can get the likes up. So we, like I said, we can get this video out to other people, and you can always leave a comment for us so we can address it next week for sure. But yeah, any closing thoughts, you guys? I feel like we covered a lot. Like we really dug into everything that's happened over the last week. But is there anything else you want to get off?
Tough that we couldn't get Jrue Holiday. I think the direction of this team, again, I think they're just going to go in and trust what their players are able to do. I think Kuminga and Moody taking those steps this year is going to be very important for this Warriors team to have success during the regular season. Andrew Wiggins playing more than 37 games is going to dramatically impact how good our defense is in Golden State. Our success has always been predicated on being a defensive-minded team first. Yeah. Steph could be in the MVP conversation because a lot of people don't view this team as a team that is going to be like a top 4, top 3 team, but we have the pieces to peak out around there. Yeah. But I'm not sure. That's really it for me, though. How about you, KB?
That Steph MVP thing is kind of valid. I believe in the fact that if he were to play enough games, though, that's the same thing with like AD and
Right.
If he were to play enough games, he would get DPOY. I think if Steph plays enough games, I think he can put up the production enough where the Warriors would be able to look like a playoff team, while also Steph like clearly having one of his better seasons as a player, right? So Steph has proven when he's healthy, he can still put up these monstrous numbers in the regular season. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Jrue Holiday not being a Warrior, tough. I had my hopes, but realistically, I don't think he was going to come here anyways.
Yeah,
but
same.
it is tough.
Yeah.
So it's tough stuff.
Yeah.
But there's still players to be acquired. Robert Williams is one as well.
Please,
And I
let's
also
get Rob
think,
Will.
I'm gonna lie to you, Reggie Bullock on the Warriors too as like a backup wing wouldn't be terrible neither. I'm not gonna lie.
I
Like
think we're more
adding
like
more wing and front court depth is always something that's a priority for us.
Yeah.
And I think that like going forward, those two will probably be a priority for us. More so Robert Williams because we really do need size and a lob threat. So
yeah,
he would address a lot of issues in our front court. But yeah, those was a great show though. Honestly, I had fun. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a good day. You guys let us know who did you like on the panel. We can definitely bring on some more people next week. So just let us know. But yeah, make sure to go follow us. Our links are in the description under the video. And like I said, get those likes up. And we appreciate you guys. And if there's any Warriors news, be sure to hit us up. You can always DM us. I know these two are always on Twitter Spaces. So definitely get involved there as well. But appreciate y'all. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, especially joining us during.
Make sure to tap in with us.
Yeah, make sure to tap in, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye, guys.